Hey you, it's true, and we are live in the simulation zone where we are trying to find out what are the actual strongest units right now by having 28 top arena platoons face each other in a round robin format 4 times each, so that is over 1000 battles. We are already there with the Dark Storm team facing the other 27 teams first, and I just realized I could record this for posterity's sake and maybe for some fun content for some of the hardcore fans of you. And it's actually looking really promising right now what Dark Storm has pulled off so far, with a very, very impressive win streak so far. It got the first loss against the team you can see on the screen right now, but all in all, this is still a 3-1 for Dark Storm. So far, they are actually 15-1 after the first battles. Let's see how they continue. It is definitely a very strong team, as we can see so far. We're just going to skip through most of the battles, obviously, given that it's 1000 battles and it's not going to be a 20-hour video or something like that. But let's see if any of these other teams can hold their own here. This one is Delay White, which is featuring Snow White and the other units mostly there for delaying the other units. So let's see how that goes. Could be a good counter. This one actually going 1-0, which is a very, very good start. Now again, these battles are really there to find out which are the strongest units. So on their own, these battles are not telling you all that much, except for obviously how these teams compete. But putting it all together later on in a linear regression will actually tell us what's going on and which units are hopefully, and it will give us some clearer picture of which units are actually responsible for success. This is to refine the methodology of my tier list, which, I mean, I have a good methodology already, but obviously they have some legacy effects, especially with something like Dark Musashi, if it's released and then super, super strong. But in the current meta, getting countered by some units that are there in a lot of teams, speaking of Anya there mainly. But yeah. Let's see, but this was the first 0-4 for this Dark Storm team. So we are gonna go on to the next one, which is Royal Burned. And let's see how it does there. But yeah, that means right now 75% win rate for this Dark Storm team, featuring from left to right here Thor, Kenshin, Zeus, Harmonic Anya, and Dark Musashi in the reinforcements. Right now we see Kenshin get triggered and the hypnosis already taking effect. And Kenshin at this point at least not being disabled is good, but unfortunately disabled now. No, actually, because Thor is going down, this is a good start for the Dark Storm team, which will probably take this battle. The question now becomes, of course, will they take it 4 times? Because, of course, there can always be some RNG effects. That is something I want to clean out here. Another mention, and as we see, we already have a 2-1 here. Another mention, all of these characters are fully awakened, fully maxed out. And so now we keep the 75% win rate here for this team. And they also have accessories, mostly the Select's helmet and the Thundering Turret. And they have all equipped, fully maxed out weapons as well that that suit their characters. So yeah, that's why it took quite a while to come up with these 28 teams. Also special shout out to Linok, who helped in identifying teams, because obviously we don't want just pure meta teams face each other, because then it will be very hard to determine which units are actually responsible for successes. So let's see how it now goes for this Dark Storm team against full burn. Definitely see it here in the favored role. I could see a 4-0 here, if I'm completely honest with you. And we are already at 2-0, so that is where it's going. And actually, they're not even losing units. This is a full sweep. Full burn is not in the best spot right now. Technically, it's not full burn even, because it has Anya there. But I'm not sure if it would go any better if it was not there. Then again, you know, this was a one fight, and this team will still see plenty of successes elsewhere, I think. We will see more of that later on when they fight the other teams. Now we have the old meta team, which I called it because besides Harmonic Anya, all of these units are rather old, think January 2026 or earlier. So I'm also not having that much hope for this team against this Dark Storm team on the right. At least Kenjin goes down here, but this is still a 2-0 right now. And yeah, that is a 3-0. And a 4-0. This is to be expected, but obviously we have to go through the motions here. And there could still be a lot more wins coming up for this Darkstorm team, as it is right now 81% win rate against other meta teams potentially. There is still more to come. Then again, we will see some teams featuring Ballet Ludmilla heavily to figure out where she's gonna go. We don't really have any data on her yet, so she was plugged and played into some of the strong teams from the recent Platoon Wars 4 tournament, which was won by Abdo in front of Linok. Check out these crazy battles if you have not seen them. That was a really, really cool live stream. Then again, Momo banned here. Momotaro in front, no longer matter. Given all the immovable units, she will not have a good time here against this fully immovable team on the right. And as such, this is again rather unsurprising victory here of the Darkstorm team, even though they managed to lose Thor here on the right in this fight. So maybe it's not as clear cut. And the Momo team actually does get away with a win. I mean, to be fair, there's still some other strong units there as well. The double Anya is never bad, and Zeus is there. Valkyrie reset also not to be underestimated. And it is actually a 2-2. This is actually a bit of an upset in my eyes, but it is what it is. Very, very good stuff here from the Momo band team. And this is definitely something for people who are already writing off Momotaro. Granted, we didn't see how much impact she actually had on these battles, but she is a main part. And speaking of rare units that we are not gonna see a lot, you can see Venus now on the left side here, and again a double Anya team. This one not faring too well. Then again, remember previously we had also a 2-0 and then it was suddenly a draw. I don't really see this in this constellation though. Then again, I didn't see it for this 10th team either. That was just happening before. Yes, but this is a 3-0 so far, and this will be the 4-0. Not much that this Kohaku team from Platoon Wars could do there. And then we will see an Ultros team. These are actual platoons, but this was the third strongest in Ultros' eyes for Platoon Wars 4. You can see some older units like Yukata Ludmilla there. You can also see Night Misha in front, which is an interesting pick. You can see Kenshin, which is strong, but without Anya, definitely gonna be a struggle. Yukata Ludmilla goes down immediately and the get turn comes in, so that is kind of what Ultros was hoping for here. And this Groundbreaker was actually pretty impressive. It barely managed not to take out Thor and Zeus here, which healed back up fully. And now, well, the Hypnosis doesn't work because of Kenshin. That is interesting. So Ultros with a really, really nice counter here. I'm impressed. So that is probably what he was cooking there. Honestly, that is sick stuff here by Ultros. Wow, this is amazing. This is like, I mean, Kenshin is there, but other than that, those are not meta units. And he takes a 3-1 here against this Dark Storm team, which barely any team left so far. The only one with 0 for the Dark Storm team was the Delay White team. And other than that, there was actually no overall losses for the Darkstorm team yet, so that is only the second one at this point in time, which is kind of crazy. So that was pretty impressive. We go on though, and we are still at 75% win rate right now, back again for the Darkstorm team. Let's see how this one on the left here from the Philippines does against this lineup. Again, this lineup on the right is heavily optimized, so taking any wins off of it is going to be impressive for all of these other teams. In Platoon Wars, you had the strong limit of actually not just having to build one super strong platoon, but you had to try to get 3 different strong platoons in. And as such, you had to kind of make some decisions where you split the top characters. You're not just gonna run all of them in one team and then not get enough wins, because it is a best of 3 and 2 of your platoons actually have to take wins. On the left now is my 3rd platoon from that tournament. I also don't think it will go any it will take any wins off this Darkstorm team here, and it's not looking too good as we speak. 0 losses here for the meta team on the right. And this is a 4-0. Now we will see Abdo's 2nd platoon. The winner of platoon was 4. But yeah, against this meta platoon, it's very difficult. But yeah, Ultros was definitely cooking there. Probably was thinking towards doing something in this regard. But Abdo also, as we can see, counters a little bit. Doesn't have Harmonic Anya on the team, but does have some other strong units. And it is 2-1 right now for this Abdo team. And it is ultimately a draw between these, which is quite impressive from Abdo's team number 2 here. Rookie is up next. From China, submitted this team to Platoon Wars, which was also identified in the data analysis by Linok as a good candidate to determine how strong the participating units are. We have 2 already. Well, okay, lost some units there, but Rookie still didn't quite manage to snatch a win here. Can he do it now? No. This is still a 4-0 for the Dark Storm team. And now we go to a Natsume team next. Only the 3rd strongest, so let's see how it goes. Very, very earth heavy. Disabling strike coming in against Kintaro straight away. This can... Actually, this might be interesting to watch, but I'm still gonna skip it. And ultimately, it is a win here for the Dark Storm team. And a loss. So that is quite interesting. Of course, there's no pushback, so Night Misha can actually do some fun stuff here. Dark Musashi in reinforcements here on the right. So the movable isn't that important. 1 win here for the Natsume team, which is still pretty decent. Now we are at 78% win rate for the Dark Storm team. Yet another one with the burn slop by Linok. Let's see if this slop can take anything here from the Dark Storm team. So far, no. Despite the Frostburn acting here from Washington. It is a 4-0 clean sweep. And now we come to the Ballet Ludmilla teams. As you can see on the left here, this is my number 1 team from Platoon Wars, but actually replacing, I think, Harmonic Anya here. And yeah, let's see how that one is gonna go. The quick strike actually being super strong here from Ballet Ludmilla. That is actually a good start. And this is apparently, potentially, a counter here. This is a good start for Ballet Ludmilla, who might just shake up the meta here. Let's see if this is a fluke. It is a 1-1 now. And the question, of course, still persists afterwards with more Ballet Ludmilla teams coming in. But as we can see, it's now a 2-1 for the Darkstorm team. Can they finish it off? Yes, they can. It is 3 wins. So in the end, Ballet Ludmilla not as impressive as it first seemed. But there's still more Ballet Ludmilla teams waiting. To be fair, on their own, it doesn't tell us much given the crowd that they are working with here. But still, let's see. And to be fair, I mean, there's some combinations like with Murasaki, which are not fully reflected here, which might make Ballet Ludmilla even better in combination. This one is a 4-0 sweep though. I'm gonna go to the modified True Malignancy team next, which actually features Storm Gene, one of the oldest characters you will see on the screen today, potentially the oldest. I'm not sure if we see Akatsuki or something like that. Some units go down here from the Darkstorm team, but ultimately this does not really matter. It's a 2-0 at this point. Ballet Ludmilla not with the greatest impact. Now though we have one win at least, and there is still another fight coming, and this is actually a 2-2. So this was quite impressive, considering also that there was Storm Jean on the field, which is not that strong. But given the performance in this battle, she might be rated highly. Let's see. But yeah, obviously Storm Jean is not in question right now to rank her according to the meta. Ballet Ludmilla getting disabled here is of course not a great start, and as such already going down here this modified team by Daybuxy from Canada. This is 2-0 now. 3-0. And this is a 3-1. Nicely done. Let's check in on the win rate. It's 78.6% right now for the Darkstorm team. Only 6 more pairings to go. We have some more Ballet Ludmilla teams to keep things interesting. This one is a Frostburn team with Ballet Ludmilla. Goes down though. To be fair, it doesn't have any Thor or Harmonic Anya, which are top meta units, so that makes it difficult, to say the least. This is now 3-0, and Nelson checked. Cannot take a win here yet. Then we got Linok, our second place, with a modified Eva carries team, with also featuring Little Mermaid here, his favorite character. And taking out some units, so that might keep some hope alive here. And takes the first win, it's 1-1. So that is good stuff here from the start. Can it take a draw here to the Darkstorm team? It can, that's pretty good. And as such, we go on to the next battles. And that is now another Linok team. This time it's Mamma Mia, also featuring Ballet Ludmilla. Mamma Mia, of course, being apparently a play on words here for the Mamma Mia ABBA movie or something like that. Potentially because of Chopin, but well, it doesn't really matter because it's a 4-0 sweep right now, so this team has to come back stronger later. We have 3 battles to go for the Darkstorm team. Then the Darkstorm's team performance will already be set in stone. It's not ultimately about just how good this team performs, obviously. It's about the combination of all the battle results and the constituents of these teams. But still, gonna be interesting to follow along here what develops in terms of win rates for each of these teams. It looks like Darkstorm hasn't given up yet to break the 80% in the end, but it needs some very strong results from these last battles. And so far, they come. This is a 4-0, and as such we are now at 80%, so if it can hold these 80% or better in the remaining battles, then Darkstorm can secure it. But CHSB's modified team takes the first win, already a chink in the armor here. And this is interesting. Thor, Valkyrie Reset, Kenjin and Ballet Ludmilla. No Harmonic Anya, but this is looking very, very strong right now against this meta team. Crazy stuff. It goes down actually. It's 0-3. I'm not sure we saw that except for the Delay White team. And this is the second sweep here against this team. And this destroys all the hopes Darkstorm had to finish with an 80%. Now, obviously, we don't know yet if any other team can even achieve 80%, but, you know, there are some teams that really brought it here against the Darkstorm team, and there is still one more to go. So, let's see how that's gonna go. That is actually Abdo's platoon number 1 from Platoon Wars. It's featuring Harmonic Anya, but no other unit from the rest. I mean, to be fair, Snow White might be slightly advantaged here compared to Arena, given that she works better, I think, in platoons than in full-on Arena plats. But still, let's see. And yeah, Snow White actually takes this one. Well, of course, I'm not gonna say it's just Snow White, but still, That's pretty good stuff. And now the Darkstorm team is falling apart at the final stretch. Actually gonna fall below 75%, I think. That is actually impressive here. And one win, not a sweep, but it is now landing at exactly 75%. That is kind of nice. Pretty even number here in the end after all that drama. And yeah, ultimately taking 81 victories out of the 108 battles. So yeah, that is interesting. But yeah, now we already have a lot of battles done, 108, and we only need a few more to finish, to get above the 1000 battles that we need. Ultimately, I'm not quite sure how many battles exactly, but it's a few hundred, I think above 1000 even, so still a long way to go. But this is now the first in-between ranking, I suppose. We have the final win rate of Darkstorm being 75%. And that means currently team number 6, Delay White, and team number 27, CHSB, are in front with a 100% win rate. We have two other teams on even footing right now with the Darkstorm team, but obviously they have a lot more battles coming. Ultros TH3 and Abdo SY1 are both at 75% win rate as well against this Darkstorm team. But now we go into the next round, where we will actually see how the second team is gonna do. And actually, I'm just looking at the time, so maybe it will be a 20-hour video after all, because that's taking way too long. But okay, we're gonna see how it's gonna go, and we go into the next round next. All right, the queuing up of the next battles took me a little longer than expected, but we are back, and you didn't even notice that because it's gonna be cut out anyways. So we are going straight into it with Double Anya versus Mega Strength. Two teams you haven't seen so far, I think, given that we only picked up with Darkstorm after a few pairings have already been concluded. But let's see how this one goes. Should be much more interesting. Not crazy meta on the right. It's no Thor on the right and no Thor on the left. Anya's on both sides though. And let's see how this one gonna go. We have double Mega Strength taking the first victory in this series. And it's gonna continue like that. And yeah, this is not even a chance here right now for the Double Anya team. Well, it is a strong combination here in the Mega Strength team, that's for sure, and it goes 0-4. We continue though with the Double Anya team. How can it do against the Dark DPS team? All of these teams that you've seen so far in this second round have gotten 0 wins against Darkstorm, so they really need to catch up to start boosting their win rates. And Double Anya is taking the short side of the stick again. Valkyrie reset in front, not quite doing it there apparently. And the other parts are just a little bit too superior. Now in this case, I'm not even that surprised, given that we see a Anya, Thor, Kenjin team here on the left. That is usually very strong, even though the Darkstorm team before did take the win. So Dark Musashi there, a little bit worse apparently than Zeus in this direct combination. And that means Double Anya is now 0-12. Still looking for that first victory. Let's see if they can finally find it. So far they are all Frostburned, but ultimately this battle turned out okay for them. Frostburn actually taking 1 win of Darkstorm, but so far taking 0 of Double Anya and giving them their first 2 victories. Okay, what's that now? We are stuck. Might have to restart. Guess we could wait until the battle concludes, but it might be a while. We see on the left here. Yeah, it doesn't even didn't even put the team names here. So yeah, that's weird. We are 2-0 in this matchup, and we're gonna be right back. And we are back. Let's see. Hopefully, we don't have the same issues again here in this interesting matchup. And it's actually a 2-1 now. So Frostband does take one win and again, so sticking with the 25% win rate it had so far. Double Anya, meanwhile, still below 20% win rate. We'll have to pick it up, but this next team is 100% win rate so far. Only one of two teams that has a 100% win rate remaining in this competition right now. Let's see if they can keep it up. They cannot. Okay, that was a quick reply there. Let's see if Double Anya actually can do the reverse sweep, basically, after delay white swiped Darkstorm. This Double Anya could do the reverse. Well, could is now past tense, because could have done is now the right word, and they are down 1-2 already, so maybe that was a bit of a fluke. Still, nice victory here for the Double Anya team, and as such now at 20% win rate. Delay white now with 87.5. We go on to the next one, and that is Royal Burn. And this Royal Burn does go down against this combination here on the right. Dark Musashi Viris team. Also a bit of January vibes besides for Harmonic Anya. But it is definitely enough to take Royal Burn down in a 4-0 actually, which is stronger than Darkstorm did before. Now, how can the full Burn deal with this? Meanwhile, Double Anya now has a 1/3 win rate, so still a lot of potential here to go further up. For example, not with this fight. It's 0-1 down against the full Burn, and the full Burn is continuing. It is a struggle against Burn without Thor. Now, granted, both sides don't have Thor, but this is a bit of a struggle for Double Anya more than for the full Burn team, which actually had 0% win rate before and now is at 50%. So that is good for full Burn, not so good for Double Anya, which is now at 28.6% win rate. Old meta versus Double Anya is now the question. We have basically old meta versus old meta, honestly, a little bit. And Double Anya can take it here. Seems to be the stronger old meta here. Now with 3-0 already. And old meta is now 0-7, so as I say this, they take the first win, of course. Well, that's good. Double Anya now back to 34% win rate and having to face the last of the meta teams. This time Momo Band, which surprised on the upside, if you remember, with a draw against the Darkstorm lineup. And it is continuing to surprise on the upside. That's pretty good. It is a Zeus team, so Zeus is showing her strength here, I think, as well. We do have a 1-2 though. Is it another draw? Or can the Momo Band team actually get a win rate of above 50%? It can. Well, that's interesting. And now we go into the Platoon Wars battles again. This Kuraku team on the left does not have a win yet. Went 0-4 against the Darkstorm team. But now it took the first win already, showing its strength. I would have expected nothing less of Kuraku, who is a strong tournament participant as of late. And takes a second win here against this Double Anya build. And a third. And a fourth. And now we have a strong one coming up in Ultros. Even though it is just his third strongest team, it really countered the meta team well here. In this case though, it remains to be seen, because the pushback of Dark Musashi will actually work against Night Misha or Parry. Night Misha getting the turn first here doesn't really change that. Dark Heaven Style coming in. Lethal. Oh, she's disabled now. And a Void Push against Parry, interestingly. 2 movable units here on the battlefield, and Misha already going down. This is not gonna go well for this Ultros team. And this is now a 3-0 and the expected 4-0 in this case. Double Anya now at 36% win rate. Meanwhile, Ultros actually falling below 50% with this fight. Cinema Roll, let's see how she's gonna do. Anastasia gets the pushback here, doesn't get the trigger in because nobody was sleeping. Not the best start here also for Kronos, of course. A lot of old units here on the left, so this is also not surprising if this is a sweep. I would actually be surprised if this team on the left can somehow pull off a victory here. It is only the second strongest of Cinema Roll, and it doesn't really have any of the top units. And still it somehow managed to get a victory? What? I'm very surprised. Okay, 3 wins here only, and this is the first win for this team on the left. Now it's gonna be my third team also. Not expecting too much from that one. It is 1-0 already for Double Anya. This is the second, the third, and can Double Anya close it out here? It cannot. It's another 3-1. And the first victory for my third team here as well. Despite all that, Double Anya now already at 42% win rate. So constantly rising, trying to get at least above 50% here. But let's see how that goes against AleanFox's second team, which does get the Royal Blizzard in. And that is a very, very nice setup here. AleanFox's team 2-2 for before against this other meta team, and now it's already 2-0, so a strong contender for sure in this competition. It's now already 3-0. Double Anya falling back in the win rate again, because this is 0-4. Good stuff from AleanFox, who is now at 75% win rate. Rookie. Well, AleanFox's second team, more specifically. Then we see Rookie, and this seems to be a long drawn out fight here. Rookie definitely with a strong setup here. Thor and Anya and Kenshin in one team, and ultimately taking this one. I would expect this to be a sweep ultimately, although the length of the loading does tell us that it is a long drawn out fight to get to that win. But as we can see, 0 units going down here on the left side. So this is another setback for the Double Anya team, which is now at 37% win rate. We see Natsume's third team though, and this one I'm not so bullish on. With a lot of movable units with a very strong earth focus, but it is 1-1 right now. 2-1 now, and finishing it off with a 3-1. Natsume also before taking a 3-1, so keeping that 25% win rate for now, while Double Anya goes back to 39%. We now have another Linok team with the Burn Slop, and the Burn Slop is successful here. That's the first win for the Linok Burn Slop team. It's now a 1-1. 2-1. Can Linok get the draw here? He can. It's a 2-2, and as such 25% win rate now for Linok and 40% for Double Anya. And we now go into the Ballet Ludmilla fights. Let's see how they gonna go. It's a good start here for Double Anya. And another win in the books. Third win. Not even a challenge so far for Double Anya. And this is a 4-0 sweep. Congrats. not bad. My team going down here quite easily. We go to the 20th team though, in Cetrius Peribus from India. Let's see what he cooked here with the Snow White team. Of course, it was modified to include Ballet Ludmilla, so keep that in mind. And this is working quite well here for the Indian player. Taking a second win already. Now this was a reverse sweep though, 0 losses here on the right side, so it can go either way apparently, but ultimately still Cetrius Peribus taking this one, and we are now at 42% win rate for Double Anya. True Malignancy is up next, who had a draw against Darkstorm, so that is already quite good, especially considering that we have Storm Gene here and Beauty and Beast, who keeps standing here actually and takes the win. This was a much closer fight, as you could see. Everybody basically went down. But it is a 1-2 now. Can Double Anya still secure the draw? It cannot, and that means good performance here again from True Malignancy with the modified second team. We do go on with Daybuxy's team next. Modified to include Ballet Ludmilla, and doing quite well here too. Double Anya is probably starting to lose hope here to actually get above 50%, honestly. Going down again and again. This is actually a sweep, and now it's back to 39%, and the win percentages are not moving that much anymore. We are already in the late phase here, and it's just more and more losses here for Double Anya. Nelson Jack's team actually getting the first win here for itself of a 0-0-4 against Darkstorm. But okay, now it's 2-1 for Double Anya, so she is gaining some win rates here again, but that's not enough, 50%. That's just enough to get it to 40 right now. We need more from this Double Anya to actually go above 50%, otherwise this is an under average team, even though it includes none other than Harmonic Anya. Not a good sign here, definitely, for Dark Musashi, although, I mean, it's fair to say that against meta teams, she just struggles, and if there's no Harmonic Anya, it could go quite a lot better. Let's see though, this one on the left has Anya again, so I'm not too bullish on the Double Anya. Well, Double Anya takes one though. Linok before also with a draw here against Darkstorm. Could do it again, but needs one more win for that, otherwise Double Anya actually succeeding here. And takes one more, and that means 50% win rate continues to be the case here for Evertare's team. And another Linok team that is modified to include Ballet Ludmilla is coming up next. We have Snow White in reinforcements, which I don't like, as I already explained during Platoon Wars, but that might also be why this team goes down again. Actually, 0 wins so far for Linok Mami Mia, and now this is the first win, and so all the teams, except for the next one, have already the at least one win, you know, basically. So this one is a 3-1, and we go on to that next team that didn't get a win yet. Let's see if they can do it against Double Anya, and then every team will have at least a win rate above 0%, and that after just 2 rounds is actually quite impressive. And there we go, it's already the case. Nagi the Rizzler's team here takes it with an old unit like Lucifer from 2024. Taking it a second time. And the third time, Ballet Ludmilla here potentially carrying. But the whole combo seems good. It's a 0 win again for Double Anya, and she goes down to around 40% win rate. Only 8 more battles to go. And this now on the right, guys, is on the left is the last team that has a 100% win rate. Can they keep this up? That's the big question now. It is an insanely strong team, that's for sure. And they do get it. It's 2-0 so far for the CHSB team. And then they go down without a right unit actually going down. It is impossible to get the current streaks, to keep the current streaks going. And that is also why you can see that there is always some luck involved, obviously, in some of these battles in the tournaments. To be totally fair, if you replay all these battles again and again, you might get a different outcome after all. But yeah, now the final team, it's AleanFox SY1 team, one of the top candidates so far as well, with 3 wins out of 4 battles. Let's see if they can continue this. They cannot so far. Well, they can still keep the win rate at 75% if they now win the next 3, which this is a good start to. And this is the second win. And the third, so this is just 1 win for double Anya, who goes below 40% even. She's now at 39.8% win rate as a final result compared to the 75% of Darkstorm. This is now a clear second place, that is for sure. And we go straight to the number 3 team, Mega Strength. It starts off with a 50% win rate before it goes into the remaining 25 pairings or 100 battles that are in front of us. What can Mega Strength do here? First off, against the Dark DPS team, which looks very, very strong. But this is also a very, very strong team, the Mega Strength team, taking the first victory, going above 50% win rate, now already with the second win. And there's a third win. And there's the loss, so it's a 3 wins, not bad, going up to 58% win rate as of now. We go against the Frostburn team next. This team on the right here that we see a lot now with the Mega Strength is actually a very interesting one. Very, very high strength rating in terms of my database. Let's see if they can actually let results follow or if they go down. Despite the Frostburn, this is a first win here for the Mega Strength team. Looking good so far with a lot of DPS action. No Thor, but there's a 1 Harmonic Anya. And that keeps the DPS alive. We have a 4-0. This also inspired my Platoon 1. And now we are at 69% win rate. Nice for Mega Strength. But now, one of the strongest teams so far, actually the leader right now in terms of win rate, 87.5% for Delay White so far. Let's see if Mega Strength can turn this around. It cannot. Everybody falls asleep here. Well, not everybody, but pretty early. Some not so great start here. And the Delay White team remains the favorite in this competition. We will have that team go on its long round in just a bit. But this one is still the 3rd team, Delay White being the 6th, so we will have the 4th and the 5th beforehand going on their round trip. Now this is already a 3-0. Loading a lot here and ultimately taking 0 wins here, so definitely a setback for Mega Strength, which is actually now at 55% win rate. Now going up against Royal Burn. This one, they win the first battle at least without breaking a sweat. Royal Burn also so far not that great in terms of win rate. Only 1 win so far in the 10 battles that they have participated in this competition. And yeah, this is not gonna change here. 4-0, back to 63% now win rate for Mega Strength, and win rate below 10% for Royal Burn, which is currently the lowest of any team. Full Burn now is coming up next. Let's see if this one can do better. It does not yet, although there is of course, some more struggle it seems. But ultimately Freya and Anya do not go down here on the right. And this time not even anything. So 4 wins again and we are back to 68% win rate for Mega Strength. We go on to the old meta, which I also think is the underdog in this matchup. Yeah, just as I said, we don't see any unit losses yet here for the Mega Strength. Still propping up that win streak. And the old meta also only 1 win out of 12 matches so far. And we now have 72% win rate already for Mega Strength, which is doing better and better. And now going up against Momo Band. Also doing good here. That's pretty good. Let's see if they can actually overtake Darkstorm. There's still a long way to go for them, but so far so good. 72% and more wins are stacking up. Darkstorm here with the final result of 75%, meaning Mega Strength needs to get more than an average 3-1 result across all these matches, which right now it's really working hard on. And this is a 4-0. I'm not sure if we had that 4th battle yet. Just gonna play it again just for security reasons, but yeah, that is a clear sweep here. And we go into the Platoon Wars Plats next. And this with a win rate of 75% exactly for Mega Strength right now, tied for first place of the finished teams. Well, technically Mega Strength not, of course, finished yet. Still a lot more to go, but that can be positive or negative. And so far it's positive, going above 75%. But now going down again, and they need to take 2 more wins to actually stay at 75%. This is the first one. And this is the second one, so they keep 75%. It is still exactly the same here for both these teams, Darkstorm and Mega Strength. Now up against Ultras. And Ultras again apparently cooked up the counter here against this kind of team. It's actually pretty crazy, honestly. Well done here by Ultras, who's boosting up the stats for sure for Night Misha, as this team goes 1-2 and 1-3. And this is a setback for sure for Mega Strength, which is now at 71% win rate now. Again, 4.5 points basically behind, percentage points behind Darkstorm. And this one they take again against Cinnamoroll. Cinnamoroll, the team also not too successful yet, so Mega Strength definitely needs to get some wins here for its win rate. And this is a 4-0 just like they needed. And we are back to 73%, but as you can see, it's not easy to make up for some losses, some match losses, even with sweeps, if you are in that kind of high win rate territory. And TrueCreo 83 actually takes it down a notch as well. That's kind of wild. A second one as well. Well, I guess I was cooking here after all. It is 1-2 now though. This was only the second or the third win of this TrueCreo team. And ultimately it is a draw, but the trend is upwards. 4 losses for TrueCreo 83 in the first round. 3 in the second, 2 in the third. So if this trend continues, it will ultimately win this competition, because this evens out, stays at 0 later on if this continues, of course. Mega Strength is now up next. We are at 71%. Well, Mega Strength is up next all the time, obviously, but now it's up to SY2, which has a very, very strong track record so far with 75% win rate. So this is now definitely something that counts. And Mega Strength takes the first victory. And another one. And another one. And another one. Wow, this was a sweep, and this is very important. Back to 73% win rate for Mega Strength, and MCAbdo SY2 down to 50% now. Rookie is up next for China, which has a very crazy performance so far, either 0-4 or 4-0. Let's see which it's gonna be here against this mega strength team. Definitely like the left here for its use of the top 2 meta units. Basically Anya and Thor would expect them to be at the top, but ultimately it is a win for mega strength. That gets evened out though for 1-1, and the first time a rookie series is not one-sided. 2-1 now. Can it be a draw? It can be. It's 2, so the 50% win rate of rookie persists, and we are at 72% win rate for mega strength now. And we see Venus for a change, a wild team here for Natsume. On the left, his third strongest team for the platoon wars. It is a 1-0 though for mega strength. So far Natsume's team 1-3 in each of these pairings, and right now it's 1-1, so it could very well happen again. It's 1-2. Did Natsume cook the perfect 25% win rate team here? No, it defeats the curse, and it is another draw, pulling down mega strength further. It's now at 70%. It will struggle to go up to the Dark Storm here if this struggle continues, and now it's up against the burn slot going down again. This is not going like mega strength wants it to go. It is 1-1 though, but that was also a tight battle. And now it's 1-2, so the win rate will go down again after this battle. Even though it's yet another draw, the third draw in a row, it's back to 69%. Well, it's still a nice number, but now this is not the direction that mega strength wants to go generally. Let's see if it can turn it around. It should turn it around here against this team, because this team on the left truly sucks so far. It's only 1 win out of 8 battles. And this trend continues. Mega Strength picking up the first win here. The second one as well. The third one. And the fourth one. Congratulations here. Back up to 71%. And Cetrius Paribus has to fight next. And Cetrius Paribus actually taking this one. It's 1-1. It's 2-1. And it's 2-2 first draw here for Cetrius Paribus. And Mega Strength is seemingly a draw magnet here, and that pulls it down again to 70% win rate, still 5 percentage points behind Darkstorm, and that is just a little bit too much in my eyes. It's gonna struggle here, only 8 teams remaining to get that win rate up again, and again we see a loss. The thing is, given that Darkstorm sits at 75%, even though this was a 3-1 here for Mega Strength, this brings it into that direction, but if it wants to overtake Darkstorm, or at least get back to the 75%, which right now it's at 70.0, it needs sweeps, it needs 4 zeros here against these teams, otherwise it will not be able to prop up the win rate above 75%, just mathematically speaking. And this is not what it needs right now. Another loss here against the Debuxy's team. Debuxy already performed very strong before with a 4-0 against Double Anya. And I mean, it's not a huge surprise. We do see Thor and Harmonic Anya here on the team, and Ballet Ludmilla actually doing some good work here, certainly. And this is a 0-3 now, right now. This is not what Mega Strength needs. This might be the final nail in the coffin. Not sure if they can even make up the ground if everything goes perfectly now. They are down to 67% win rate, basically 2 out of 3 battles being won by Mega Strength, which, you know, to be fair, is still a very good rating, but it is not a #1 rating. And the trend actually continues. Nelson checked, taking this one. It's 1-1 now. It's 1-2. So Nelson checked, at least getting another draw here. Nope, that's the first victory for Nelson checked, and another bad performance here for Mega Strength which loses ground, 65% win rate now. And now the actual surprising team so far, Linok, who took draws in both of the battles before, the 2-2-2s. And it starts off with another 1-0, potentially aiming to get the first match win here. And it is 2-0 now for Linok, 0-2 for Mega Strength, which is not looking healthy right now, but it comes back and Linok might still have that draw streak going in the end. It does, actually, so 50% win rate after 12 battles, 2 out of 4 in each pairing for this Linok team. Actually quite interesting, I think. And now the bad Linok team, if that is fair to say. And it apparently is not, because this takes a win off Mega Strength right away, and Mega Strength is falling apart here towards the end of its campaign run. Well, it is a 2-1 now, so could still get a rise in win rate if it takes the last one. It does. But yeah, this could have been a chance to get a bit of a bigger rise. Instead, it's just half a percentage point to jump to 65%. Again, we have only 3 pairings remaining. This one so far 4-0 or 0-4 on the left, so let's see which one it is gonna be. For Nagi the Rizzler, it is right now a 1-0, now it is a 1-1, so the first time it doesn't go full on one way. It's another 2-1 here. Apparently Mega Strength a bit of a nervous team in the first battle, and ultimately it is a draw here. So 50% win rate for Nagi the Rizzler persists as well. Now CHSB, one of the strongest teams in the competition. The last 2 teams here with 75% win rate so far. So both of them looking very, very strong right now, and I'm not sure if Mega Strength can do enough damage here against CHSB. It's 0-1 to kick things off. It's 0-2 now. And yeah, Mega Strength truly falling apart here towards the end of the streak, towards the end of the campaign. It's 0-3 now. And it is a 0-4 actually, the first reverse streak against it after Debuxy. But the even worse thing is that it's already been like nearly 10 battles since it actually got another sweep into the other direction, which was, as I said before, what was required to actually take it upstairs. But ultimately it's not gonna be it. And Abdo's team so far always won 3-1. Let's see if that persists. It already is down 0-1, so maybe Mega Strength at least can take a little bit against this platoon 1 here of Abdo. Yes, Abdo is losing some ground here. It is taking one window. Let's see if Abdo can secure a draw here. It can. It can, the team, not Abdo. And SY1 is still good here with a 2/3 win rate, 67%. But ultimately the result here for Mega Strength is coming in at 61%. It was looking much better in between, but ultimately Mega Strength has to bow down to some other teams. Still a good win rate, to be fair. It is clearly above 50%, so it is one of the stronger teams in this competition. But yeah, this is what it is, and so far still leading is Delay White with a win rate of 92% ahead of CHSB with 83%, the Chinese team that was modified to have Ballet Ludmilla as well. And yeah, but this is second place right now for Mega Strength, of course, ahead of Double Anya and below Dark Storm. All the other teams, of course, still need to do their campaign runs to actually get their fair win rate results. All of these other teams, besides these 3 teams, so far only with 12 battles, but that is about to change now on the campaign run of the 4th team, the Dark DPS team. That is starting out with a 42% win rate. Let's see where it goes from here. Is it going to be a fight against Double Anya, or can it pick up the pace here against the other teams and go above 50% to potentially challenge Mega Strength or even Dark Storm at the top? Let's see how it's going to go for this Dark DPS team, and we jump right into it. This is a good start here against Frostburn. 1-0. Frostburn, to be fair, only with a 17% win rate so far, so some good expectation here for Dark DPS. Frostburn already increasing its win rate though against Dark DPS here, who is now 2-1, so that will increase its win rate as well. That's good. 3-1 now back to 50% for Dark DPS, and let's see how it can go from here. Now it can both ways, can go both ways. Right now it's the 4th place, right smack in the middle between Mega Strength, the 3rd place between Mega Strength and Double Anya. Let's see, disabling bolts coming in. It's Dark DPS time. Wow, okay. Well, that was actually a win against Delay White, I only just realized. So that is already quite impressive from Dark DPS. Can they do it again? They cannot so far. So Delay White still looking extremely strong here. Delay White actually taking this one as well with a 3-1. So 45% now for Dark and 88% win rate for Delay White. Still leading the field. But losing a little bit of win rate percentage here. At least Dark DPS with 1 win, that is somewhat good. Royal Burn now is probably going to be an easier opponent. Royal Burn so far with the lowest win rates, which is a spot that is shared with 2 other teams. But, well, as I say this, Royal Burn takes a win here against Dark DPS, not what Dark DPS needed. And now even the 2nd win, after only having 1 win out of 3 pairings so far out of 12 battles. It takes a draw here, which is not great for the Dark DPS. Not what it needed at all. So far not going to attack Mega Strength here potentially, despite having both the meta units Harmonic Anya and Thor in the lineup. Now against Full Burn though, it is looking better again. Full Burn so far went either 0-4 or 4-0, so if that is any kind of projection here, then this should go 4-0 as well. And as I say this, of course Dark DPS goes down. It's 2-1. Can they at least secure the win? They can, and that means they go back to 50% win rate. So yet again we are at a spot where it can go either way for this Dark DPS team. But of course the more teams go by, the less movement we are to expect here in terms of the win rate percentage move. Against the Old Meta, it's doing quite well though. Old Meta is another team that didn't do too well right now. Royal Burn was one of these other teams, but Royal Burn at least got 1 win here. Can Old Meta do that as well? Or will it stay down together with the 2 other remaining teams? I think it was actually 4 who did have a bit of bad luck so far and only 1 win. And this is a 4-0 sweep for Dark DPS. So Old Meta is staying down actually now with the lowest win rate of 6%. Let's see if Momo Band can do anything here. It's not the best matchup, I assume, but it already did some upsets when it was not expected. So let's see. 2-0 now for Dark DPS. It's looking good for Dark DPS now, suddenly starting a very, very good campaign. 3-0 coming up high here from the win rate. It's another streak, and this is now an ex-eco placement with Mega Strength at the 2nd place. They are both now at 61% win rate, and so Dark DPS just needs to keep going like that to make it count. Then again, to be fair, Mega Strength at this point had, I think, a higher win rate when it did its own campaign. But yeah, Dark DPS not impressed, lets it rip and continues with some good win streak here. I think now over 10 battles undefeated. And that keeps going here. Against this first platoon was a battle from Kuhaku. It's 4-0. Or was that the 4th battle already? Man, I really need to focus more on counting. But yeah, anyways, this was a security check, and we are at 65% now for Dark DPS. Can it actually attack Dark Storm here? That's the question now. As this impressive win streak continues here against the 3rd team from Ultros, which was surprisingly good so far, but let's see if it can do anything here, considering the constituents. Actually, not much would be expected here of the 3rd team. And this looks like another clean sweep here. My goodness, we are now, I think, close to a 20 win streak, something that didn't happen before in this competition for the Dark DPS team. And as such, it's now at 68% win streak, but you can already see it's very, very tough to actually get to that 75% mark that Darkstorm leads the field with. Still, this, as long as this continues, it is looking good. We are now above 20 wins in a row for this Dark DPS team, and they are not letting anything get in their way so far. This is another win, and now we are at 71% win rate. It's looking good, good, good. But now they have to face none other than my third team, which, granted, is not exactly strong, but it did surprise on the upside so far, I think. But yeah, Dark DPS definitely with all these meta units in a better spot. And the win streak continues, honestly. This is massively impressive. We are already, I think, 25 plus win streak. Dark DPS is now on a freaking roll here and is now at 73%, now attacking Darkstorm against the team from AleanFox here. The second team from AleanFox losing Dark Musashi, but not losing the win streak. I think at this point they might even be... Oh, there goes the win streak. I don't think they quite made it to the 28, which would be insane. But here we go. We have a 1-1 now. And that means Dark DPS now needs to fight to get the win and doesn't get it. It's 2-1 after that impressive win streak. They are actually down and can at most hope for a draw, which will drag down the win rate significantly because it's not even a draw, it's just one win and they are back down below 70% win rate. This is how fast it can go, guys. It's a very, very strong struggle here. And Rookie's Platoon 1 is also looking good, but they are back en route here, Dark DPS so far. This is a long loading, so this was a tight battle and ultimately it goes the way of Rookie. We are 1-1 now. And so Dark DPS is losing a bit of steam here, similar to Mega Strength, but that is even coming in a little bit earlier, I feel like. It's now 1-2 and it is a 2-2 draw. Not sure. Right now they are more going towards the direction of second place or even third place, fighting against Mega Strength than actually challenging Darkstorm like it looked like for a little bit. And that is even before we get to the Baleludmela modified platoons. Well, this is good for Dark DPS, going back on the win streak and going above 70% again. That's exactly what is needed. Now Linux Burnslop team, which drew in the last two pairings. So 2-2-2s there. And it is looking like Linux again with a heavy draw build here. 2-1 now though. And it is ultimately a 3-1, so that's good for the Dark DPS team, which is now at 71% win rate, going up against Darkstorm again, potentially. This is one of the worst teams right now here on the left. It is modified, to be fair, with Baleludmela, but yeah, these synergies are apparently not helping, but this is what we are trying to find out here, right? It's not all about just the synergies, it's all about which teams actually make the difference. And this is another 4-0 for Dark DPS, now at 72% win rate, actually trying to attack here. Then again, keep in mind, Mega Strength ran out of steam starting now. Well, not quite, actually starting with the loss or the 0 sweep against Debaxi, which is very strong. This one is a 2-0 so far, so this one is still going in the right direction. It's a 3-0 now, that's very good, but it needs a 4-0 of course to challenge Darkstorm, and it is a 4-0. Very good stuff here, 74% win rate now, and this should still be a team that is manageable here for the Dark DPS team. It even has Storm Gene, but ultimately it loses. This is a very strong build here by True Malignancy. Beauty and Beast doing some good stuff here for sure. And this is already apparently one match sooner starting here for Dark DPS. Only one win, going back down to 71% win rate. And only now we get Debaxi, which is one of the strongest performing teams so far with a 75% win rate. But okay, takes at least one win. Debuxy was on a 0-8 streak pretty much. But apparently this one counters her. It is rather light focused, to be fair, and we have a team that is called Dark DPS. And this one is a 4-0 sweep, so the thing is still on here for Dark DPS. Might not be as dragged down as Mega Strength here was in the last fights. And it continues against Nelson Checked here, who is also a strong team. Well, it's 1-1 now. It's 2-1. Because this will not be enough to challenge Darkstorm here. It needs some sweeps, 73%. It's gonna be very, very difficult against all these strong teams. And now we have the Linok team, which so far went 2-2 in every single pairing of the 3 previous ones. So this is going to be tough to take a 4-0 sweep here. Then again, some old units here and the right disables might make it happen, or maybe not. It's 1-0 already for this Linok team. Can Linok defeat the curse of the draws? Well, it's not necessarily a curse, but right now it's looking good. 2-0 for Linok. It's 2-1. Can this draw streak actually continue? That would be insane. It does not. Finally it ends, and with that it also ends kind of the hopes of this Dark DPS team for the first place. It is looking good though in terms of staying above Mega Strength, but it still needs to take a few more wins to actually secure this. And this is probably the team to do it against one of the weakest teams of the tournament so far. It's 2-0. And the 4-0 is 72%. Nice, nice, but only 3 pairings left. This might be a close second in the end, if everything goes well here. 1-0 for Dark DPS again. So that would mean Darkstorm 1 and Dark DPS second, or can Dark DPS still pull off the upset? It's not giving up hope yet. We did see it have a very long win streak before, and it is just starting another one. It's 73%. But the thing is, I think it can at most, I just checked, it can at most get 75% win rate, even if it does now 8-0 against the 2 remaining teams, which is going to be hard because this is the best performing team, or the second best performing team here on the left so far. And there we go, this goes down, and with this Dark DPS is defeated in terms of getting the #1 spot, but still as a current rank, the second one is not too bad here, but CHSB is absolutely screwing over the competition here, and this is actually not good news for Harmonic Anya as well, because she's not part of the team, and still CHSB so far doing extremely well. Then again, we look at the final one, which is Abdo's Platoon 1, which actually has Harmonic Anya. We have Harmonic Anya on both sides here, but still Abdo takes it, which is also not good news for Thor on the other hand. It's another defeat. And another defeat. And ultimately a 1-2-3. So we have 68.5% win rate as the final result of Dark DPS. Congratulations to the second rank. In between looked like it could potentially challenge the Darkstorm, but now it's Darkstorm, Dark DPS, then Mega Strength, and then pretty far behind is Double Anya. Alright, Frostburn is up next, and this one will have a crazy campaign because it is starting from one of the lowest points at 19%. Can it actually manage to make a comeback here, go up at least to 50% potentially, take over Double Anya? Well, that remains to be seen, but one thing that is already sure is that we will see the team that it's facing off first against the strongest team so far, with an 87.5% win rate after this, take its own campaign. So this one might be the challenger for the title here. Although the 27th team, CHSB, is there as well. That is clearly the fight right now in terms of the passive teams so far. But yeah, let's see. I'm getting ahead of myself. We need to check how Frostburn is doing first. This Frostburn team, not Frostburn as a status, of course, but we do see Washington and Siegfried here. No Anastasia, who was the first one with Frostburn, to be fair, and still is one of the strongest Frostburn units. But yeah, this is not good. Delay White takes it. Well, this is to be expected. Delay White so far with 0 match losses so far, and only 2 out of 18 were a loss. Make that 2 out of 19. And 2 out of 20, so 10% loss rate here for Delay White, who has now a 90% win rate. Pretty crazy stuff. And Frostburn, meanwhile, at 15% now, needs to step up its game, potentially here against the Royal Burn, which is a bit of a similar team, I guess, but Royal Burn doing better here as well. This is not good, not a good run here for Frostburn. Finally getting a win here to break up the bad luck. Royal Burn actually never won before, and it could do so now for the very first time, win a pairing. I mean, it did win some battles before, don't get me wrong, but okay, this is another draw here. Not good for either of these teams, honestly. Well, either of these teams actually have below 50% win rate, so if you look at it like this, I guess it's good for both of them. Full Burn is up next against the Frostburn team here. Yeah, Full Burn actually going down. Full Burn with a surprising 4-0 against Double Anya, but everything else was not that great so far. Now it's 1-1 though. It's 1-2. And it's 1-3, so Full Burn does continue to do better than the Royal Burn team here by quite a lot. Now 25 versus 40% win rate. Meanwhile, Frostburn at 21% win rate, our 5th team here, currently clearly in 5th place, far behind Double Anya even, who had 39.8% win rate, so that is probably the team Frostburn needs to orient itself towards. And as I say this, of course, it takes out the old meta, which is one of the worst teams, to be fair. Well, worst teams, but worst performing teams so far. And we have a 4-0 here for Frostburn. And it continues. That is good. And keep in mind that this was where the win streak happened for the Dark DPS team. So maybe this is where it happens for Frostburn as well. But Frostburn is starting from a much lower win rate, so it has a much bigger impact drawing up the win rate here. And this is another win. Two streaks in a row. That's finally some good news here for Frostburn. Up against Kuhaku's team from Vietnam next. And still continuing to do well. Trying to emulate here the win streak that Dark DPS did. And with that will actually overtake Double Anya suddenly. Well, it's moving fast here with streaks from the low territory now. 45% win rate. Wait a second. Why am I at 11 again? Okay, we need to do a ref check later on this. Because this is actually a loss. And another one. Okay, so maybe there was not a... This is now against the Ultras team. A little bit confusing here, but okay, we go 0-4 here. and need to focus a little bit more here in the data collection. Cinema Roll is currently only having 1 battle win so far. And Frostburn doesn't want to add 1 to that list. Actually goes up here to 46% win rate now. This team on the left was not too great so far. And Frostburn continues to do well here. Hooray here, 4-0, and now at 50% win rate, and it can only, well, it can go either way from here, but right now it's looking good to at least secure that 4th place. But can it attack the Mega Strength? I doubt it, but let's see. Abdo's team already putting some fight up here. It was also the team that ended the win streak here from the Dark TPS team on the prior campaign run, and this is actually a sweep here. Frostburn's ambition heavily stunted now. Honestly, with a look at the teams remaining, I actually think Frostburn really needs to lock in and just secure that 4th place and not be too distracted by fantasies about going to 3rd place here. Of the 5 teams so far, the only one that seems to be in the area is Double Anya to defeat. At least getting 1 win here against Rookie, but still, that's 45% win rate. Now this team should be someone that can be beaten, and as I say this, they even take a loss here. Well, not even, but I mean this team on the left here so far at best got a draw, a 2-2 draw. And right now it looks like it will actually take a win. Can Frostburn take at least 1 battle? No, this is unbelievable. Very bad news here for Frostburn, which goes down to 42%. And we are not even starting with the Belay Ludmilla adjustments. We have, you know, another Burnslop team that does go down to Frostburn though. But to be fair, also the team on the left so far with only draws or losses. And that will continue at least. It's 2-1. It is a 3-1. So some good news finally for Frostburn before they go up against one of the weakest teams of the competition. Also aiming for that 5% win rate right now as the teams before, as Freya goes down to a compounding shot. It is a victory here for the Frostburn team. And it is defeat. Okay, that's good news, I guess, for the left side team. Oh my god, can this left side team do the first win? It's actually 0-4 right now in pairings. This is already gonna be the best result with a draw, which it ultimately is. And so now 44.4% win rate for Frostburn and 15% for this other team. Ceteris Paribus now on the left. Also a team that can be beaten, but at least it already got a win against Double Anya. It is 1-1 here. It's 2-1. Can it take a draw here, or is this gonna be a win for Frostburn? It is a draw. But draws are still okay to stay above Double Anya here. True Malignancy, so far mixed results, but actually quite a good performance, especially considering the old units used here. And it didn't go down 0-4 at all so far, but Frostburn tries to make this happen now. It is 3-0. Can it still secure a win here, this True Malignancy team? It cannot, so this is the first really good performance here by Frostburn, better than any of the other teams that faced True Malignancy's Storm Chain team here so far. And now Debuxy, one of the stronger teams, but Dark TPS before really brought it back to Earth, but now Frostburn might bring it back to heaven. Going down again and again. This is now another sweep for Debuxy potentially here. Already the third one. And with this, Frostburn is at 45%. Still comfortably ahead of Double Anya, but there is still some very strong teams coming, keep that in mind. For example, this Nelson Jack team isn't doing too bad. It had all kinds of results so far except a sweep for it, so 4-0 for Nelson Jack was not on the menu yet. And it looks like it won't be. You know, this is a 1-1. 2-1. Could be another draw here. It is not. It is a third win for Frostburn. And as such, moving towards the 50% mark actually. Continuing to move away here from Double Anya. That is good news. And actually taking the win here against the Linux. Team which is slightly above 50% win rate right now. Never lost. A pairing. It is 1-1 again. The draw magnet Linux does it again. It's 2-1 now though. Can it be another win here for Linux? It cannot be. It's 2-2. It's the fourth draw out of 5 pairings. That's insane stuff here. And let's see how its worst team does. Mamma Mia here is taking an L. And a second L. And a third L. And a fourth L, so this is looking good now for Frostburn, which is at 49% win rate. Don't think it will fall down enough to undertake Double Anya, so that is good news. For Frostburn at least, not so good news for Double Anya of course. But now the question is, can Frostburn actually do a 50%? Or stay above 50% to be one of the top teams? This one is going as planned, but keep in mind the last 2 teams are some of the strongest in the competition. So it will be difficult, but right now it's 51%. The Frostburn team is finally above 50%, doing quite well against Ballet Ludmilla teams. And now the question is, how does it do against CHSB? Well, CHSB so far with 3 4-0s out of 4 pairings. And it tries to do it again. Tries to still keep up with Delay White in that proxy fight for the top position. And yeah, that's it. Another clean sweep in the books for CHSB, and also now at 90% win rate just as Delay White. And now the final fight though, Abdo also so far with not so clear wins, no 4-0s yet. Oh, didn't delete CHSB, whoops. But it never lost, so it was always 2-2 or 3-1 here for Abdo. And this is another good start for it. 2-0 now. 3-0 now. So this is securing another win, but can Abdo take the first 4-0? It can. That's crazy. Frostburn clearly falling below 50% here, now ending at 47%, and that is a current rank of 4 behind Mega Strength by 14 percentage points and above Double Anya by 7. All right. And now this is gonna be the most important campaign, guys, or one of the most important campaigns of the evening or the midday or the morning whenever you're watching, or the night. And what rhymes with night? It's Delay White. It is the strongest team so far with a 90% win rate. How far can this one go? It needs to continue to hustle along, and what will be especially interesting is going to be the fight against CHSB, the other 90% win rate team here. Unless it's a clean sweep, both of them will probably lose some win rate here. And yeah, so Delay White starts into this campaign with a 90% win rate, which also means if it's not 4 zeros that it gets, it's gonna consistently lose win rate. So it needs 4 zeros here, not only to go up, but to stay up. Anything less than 4 zeros is gonna drag it down. And this is not the start it needed. Royal Blue actually taking the first fight. Delay White is already struggling here right at the start as the pressure mounts. This might be a good start, but maybe it was just luck here for Royal Burn. It's going much better now. And Delay White is recovering here. Taking the 3-1 ultimately. Going down a little bit, but that is not too shabby. Full burn now. Delay White continuing to dominate, but it needs some crazy 4-0 streaks here, just as we saw with the Dark TPS team. And that is about the time when it started, and we have another 1-1, so burn is a bit of a weakness here for this Delay White team, I think. It's a 2-1 though, so could still be flukes. Another 3-1, so still losing win rate, but it's still at 86%. And now this is the time to start a win streak against the old meta here. It's loading for a long time, but let's see who takes this. Old meta actually takes this. This is only the second win for the old meta, which has currently a 5% win rate, and it's taking the win here against the strongest team of the night so far. 1-1 now. Delay White potentially with yet another 3-1. There we go. Now below 85% win rate, but still decently. But that's the first win for the old meta after I think over 12 battles. Normal band doesn't have what it takes here, it seems. Continues its losing streak potentially. Three zeros, 3-0 now. And this is a 4-0, finally what Delay White needs here in the proxy battle against CHSB. It's gonna be obviously very important is the fight itself. But yeah, first up, lost quite a few units there, but ultimately taking this one against Guaku. Taking another win here, Delay White. And another loss, but I mean ultimately it is a win, but again 75%. As is the case a lot here, but so far we had already 10 pairings here for Delay White, and every single one of them went 4-0 or 3-1, so still insanely impressive performance, now at 85% win rate. This could be a tough one. Frostburn lost a lot here, but there were already 4-0 streaks against this Ultros team on the left. And Delay White is gonna attempt one of those. So far so good. And it is a 4-0 ultimately, 86% win rate now. Can start a little win streak potentially here against the next two teams as well, which didn't do too great so far. And as I say this, only the second win here for the Cinema Roll team. Delay White is really struggling to get clean sweeps here. Well, struggling is saying a little bit much, but that's still interesting. We have a 2-1 again. And ultimately a 3-1, so still keeping the pairing win streak, 100% win rate basically alive, but still losing some win streak percentage. But yeah, this looks extremely strong despite what I'm saying here. Obviously we are in a super high win rate here for Delay White, and as such it's very hard to imagine right now how it could fall below the Dark Storm team. which is waiting at 75% and a current rank of 1. Even though that true team here also on the left, the third true team taking 1 win. Delay White still takes a 3-1 yet again. Now the Abdo team, this one is a strong one. Already at 2-4-0 streaks. And this one goes ahead. Will this be the first loss for the Delay White team? It's looking good, but I mean, honestly, Delay White lost so many first battles and then turned it around. It's actually kind of crazy. But this is the first time it's not gonna happen. At least it's gonna be only a draw, but maybe Abdo takes the first one here. No, it is a draw here for Delay White, and that is losing it 2.5 percentage point in win rate, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, down to 82%. And things like that are the only hope here for the Darkstorm team to stay in front in the final ranking. But yeah, we're far from that so far. The Abdo team itself is at 62.5% win rate, by the way. As we see the 2-0 here against Rookie. Actually, Rookie only went down 0-4 so far, and this could be another time like that. Yes, it is. And this was also against Darkstorm, this other 0-4. So only against the strongest teams. Natsume now. Made a 4-0 against Frostturn, but lost 0-4 against Dark TPS. But this one it wins. Wild. Well, Delay White again with the first match strike. Can it come back? It's 1-1. Now Delay White is no longer with the 100% matchup win streak, but it could still keep the not defeated streak alive, 0% defeats, but only if Natsume doesn't take this one. And he doesn't. It's 2-2 again. But the win rate, of course, falling a little bit. And let's see how this Delay White team actually does against Balut teams, Ballet Ludmilla teams, which we haven't seen yet so far. Here, this new Ludmilla, how it's gonna go. Linok Burnslop falling fully asleep here, very vulnerable to this parry on Delay White's team. And now we go to a 4-0 actually. Good stuff from Delay White. And another 1-0. We have now the modified Balut teams. And so far losing some units here, but keeping the hopes alive. Here is the Delay White team doing quite well as well against Balut teams. Then again, the left hand side team is definitely not the strongest of the bunch. But anyways, we are back to 5 out of 6 wins here for Delay White. In all the matchups so far. And this is a 1-1 here. Cetrius Paribus clinching a win. And the 2-1, can Cetrius Paribus end the reign here, or the win streak of Delay White? That's now gonna be the question. It is a rather interesting combination here on the left. We have Balut and Chopin, also Thor, obviously very important, but he's on both sides here. Already does some good stuff to kick things off. Balut is not disabled. It does lead the dance, giving the turn here to none other than Snow White, who will give the turn to everyone else, and only one disabled currently on that team. Now quick strikes coming in. This will be the end of parry. But now there's another Snow White and another blood cycle, so who knows? This is actually a very interesting fight, I think. And as such, I will continue with it a little bit in between these things. Can Delay White finally go down, or will it come back somehow? The Moris, of course, being a huge help. And the disabling, not so much. Looking good for Cetrius Paribus here. Chopin getting the turn, being disabled. comes Snow White getting the turn being disabled. Stardust Snow White is now disabled as well. Hammering Blade coming in. Actually an attack from a Super Mori, also haven't seen that in a while. Thundering Wrath taking out Chopin here though, so that is looking good now. No Harmonic Anya on Cetrius Peribus's team. The Quick Strike taking out New Snow White though, so now the question is, can anything even be done? Ballet Ludmilla potentially a good counter here, a very good counter here against New Snow White. And Anya also going down, that's wild. This is gonna be, I think, the end of the win streak. Cetrius Peribus from India is the one to take down Delay White finally, if I'm not jinxing him, but we can see only guards here on the field and the Elegant and Thrust even taking care of Thor. This is actually a steamroll now. We have Mori versus Mori action here, which is something you can rarely observe, so enjoy that, I suppose. And Dark Reckoning even coming in. We have Anya from Reinforcements, but her alone will not do anything, so we have to end this here. And this means, after all this time, Delay White finally goes down. It's now at 80% win rate, so it still needs to defend its spot here against Dark Storm. It's not as clear-cut anymore. Let's see how it goes against this team. It is going much better already. 2-0. I mean, to be fair. Ooh, okay, 2-1. But yeah, to be fair, it needs even just 3 ones on average will be enough to clearly stay above Dark Storm. But now it's 80% win rate and even 18%. And we have 7 more pairings to go. Basically, 3/4 are done for Delay White, but it cannot allow itself to struggle here against the Baxi, which has one of the strongest teams so far. 65% win rate from the proxies, but Delay White is of course the favorite based on the track record so far. And it's 2-0 now. Looking good for Delay White. But of course the big battle that is going to be coming up is the one against CHSB, which has a proxy win rate of 90% so far. And this one is also a 2-1 now. It actually is absolutely a draw, the first draw of the Baxi, but yeah, this is again a drag on the win rate, now going below 79% here for Delay White. And Nelson Checked is up next. This is a sweep potentially. It is not. It's another 3-1 here for Delay White, so that is another 0.2% down in win rate. It's gonna be getting closer than I thought here against Dark Storm, unless Delay White gets its shit together, and against a team that has never lost so far and just got draws and draws and draws, this might not be that easy. But it does take the lead against Linok's Eva carry teams. Eva carries team, and this is a 2-0. This might be the first loss here for the 24th team here on the left. And it is, so that is good news for Delay White. Actually taking a 4-0 here. Crazy, after no team even managed to take a 3-1 against Darkstorm. And so Delay White is fortifying its position at the top. Against the weaker Linok team, it does worse. That is interesting. Both of these, of course, are not the pure, and this might be another loss here for Delay White. These are modified teams on the left, of course, with Ballet Ludmilla, which wasn't in play in Platoon Wars. And this is a draw ultimately, but still this is the best result of the Linok team on the left, which is surprising after having 0 wins or draws so far. And we have 78% for Delay White. It's looking better and better, but it's not gonna be as clear cut. And this one needs to be kind of a 4-0 win streak, and it's not. It's not. It is indeed. Another thing. Does Delay White fumble the #1 position here in the end? Or will the team get its shit together? That's the question now. It is a draw, so that is good. 77.0% win rate now. Still 2 percentage points ahead of Darkstorm, but now, guys, we come maybe to the most important battle series of tonight. And that is none other than Delay White on the right here against CHSB. The CHSB team so far with 90% win rate against the 5 teams it matched up against so far. And Delay White also started the win streak at 90% before that campaign run. And this is not gonna be side Balut taking down Perry again. We've seen this movie before. Blood Cycle though coming in. That one's nice. Fateful Snow charging up. Some disables. There's Metal Kiro coming in. Hammering Blade. Soul Fragment. Alright, Valkyrie Reset actually doing something, but getting disabled of course against New Anya, which is still a good Valkyrie Reset counter early on at least. Thunder Shield coming in. Another Hammering Blade. Thor getting turned disabled. Another Blood Cycle. And actually alright, now maybe looking better for the left team here again, although many of them are still disabled, but Ballet Ludmilla is not taking out New Snow White. This is the big weakness of the Delay White team. And there it goes, CHSB is now potentially the favorite to take it tonight, even though there's a lot of battles still to go. But it looks like Delay White is not gonna take this one. Valkyrie Reset goes down though, and Modern Almina takes the stage. A Prismatic Voice here from this New Anya, and a Modular Shot, but Modern Almina, yes, goes down, so that's good, but now Ballet Ludmilla has a turn and takes out Harmonic Anya. Everybody gets the turn. Ballet Ludmilla showing what's up here, and this is the end for Delay White. It can still be turned around, of course, in the next 3 battles, but so far this is looking good for CHSP. Can Delay White still take some wins here? It is 1-1 now. Okay, we are back on. It is a 1-2. Can it be a draw here for Delay White? That would be the most optimal outcome at this point. It cannot be. It is another loss, only the 2nd one in its entire campaign. Well, it's still no 0-4 loss at all, but still, this must hurt. And now, we are down to 75% win rate, so Delay White might fumble the bag here in the final moments. It needs a 4-0 now to get the first place alone. It needs a 3-1 against Abdo's team, which has not lost yet, I have to say, to actually keep the #1 spot ex equo with Darkstorm. And if it's any less, if it's just a draw, which is the worst result Abdo ever got against the Mega Strength team so far, then it's gonna be over with the #1 spot for Delay White, which looked so secure most of the time. Let's see how it goes. Abdo's team here with Beauty and Beast. Both sides with Storm Snow White on the field. A lot of sleep here, but now the Purification comes in. Kenji with a good start, but Kenji hit some lucky strikes. That's a question. Toxic Burst taking out Perry, but get turn here for none other than New Snow White. The Hypnotization is still there, but Kenjin is disabled, of course. New Snow White getting another turn. Fateful Snow, always nice. Hypnotization here for New Anya, still on. Blood Cycle now coming in with the Fateful Snow. Soul Fragment. Blood cycle again, time unit reductions. Center stage now. Can Beauty do something for the first time in this battle? Well, she takes down a Mori. But this gives the turn to Fateful Snow, and the Fateful Snow must be charged up a lot here from Delay White already, more so than I think Abdo's team on the left. Soul Fragment, not that good though. Soul Fragment against this Mori on the other hand, better. Fateful Snow, both teams with a lot of reinforcements. And Kenjin goes down here. The Fateful Snow is charged up, but a bit lucky for Abdo that the Beauty wasn't taken out. Then again, she had some instant death wards, but the Dark Reckoning is there, and now it's all about Beauty and Beast. Not sure if they can do it on their own. At least Abdo's Aegis has an instant death immunity, so New Snow White will struggle against that. Without Dark Reckoning, of course, only. Beastly uppercut. New Snow White getting the turn. This might, yeah, go against this instant death immune Aegis. 25% chance for that. Not ideal, of course. And still a lot of reinforcement, still a lot of protection here for Beauty and Aegis. Fateful Snow again, taking out a Mori, not triggering Beauty and Beauty's instant death ward yet. Blood cycle, and there's no Moris left in reinforcements now for Delay White. The same is not true for Abdo's team here on the left. Fateful Snow again with the instant death ward stays alive through the Bell of the Ball and gets the Dark Reckoning in, but the fortification is still enough for Aegis to stay alive. Bell of the Ball coming in again, and actually, ooh, no Basso Edge coming in, and the instant death immunity from New Snow White is now helping. And she gets healed back up again. That is lucky here. Delay White getting really close to defeat here. Because once New Snow White goes down, this team doesn't have quite what it takes, I think. Kintaro now entering on the left. With one instant death ward. That does not get triggered because again Aegis gets cut, and now the fortification finally wore off here of Aegis. So the next time this Dark Reckoning happens, if it happens... Oh, okay, it doesn't target Aegis, but not sure if Aegis actually will get a chance to refresh Bell here, and Delay White might take this and take the #1 spot here potentially. Well, it's just a 1-0 so far, but let's see if it can keep that momentum going. It needs 2 more wins at least to secure the first spot, and if it wants to have it alone, then it needs actually a 4-0. This is now a 2-0, so the worst result yet for Abdo's SY1 team, and this is now the 3-0. Great stuff. Congratulations to Delay White for the first victory or the first spot in the rankings after 6 teams, and it's actually a 4-0. So Dark Storm, even though it was probably crossing its fingers for Abdo's team here, Abdo's team actually getting the first loss, and that as a 0-4, meaning that Delay White ends at a 75.9% win rate, and that is the first place, 1 percentage point ahead of Dark Storm. Now these next fights should go a lot quicker. We have a few teams that are kind of not meta at all. We're just gonna go through them quickly and see where they land in the rankings, but they're not gonna be able to challenge the current top teams in the rankings, so they just need to do their best to still make it somehow. It's Royal Burn starting with a 25% win rate, so 1-3 on average in the 6 pairings so far, and it's starting off well here against in this Burn versus Burn fight. It's now at 2-0. Full Burn so far with the better win rate, but after this one, I'm not so sure about that. It is a 4-0. That means the win percentage and the rank flips here. And it's 35% now win rate for the Royal Burn. But keep in mind, this is still the last rank so far in terms of the finished places. Double Anya currently the only one under 40%. But Royal Burn is doing quite good so far, at least against these other teams that are a little bit of an older meta. Now we have 1-1 though. Old meta so far 0 times 1. It was always a 1-3 or 0-4, and this could be the chance here. Yes, old meta actually at least taking a draw for the very first time here against this Royal Burn team. And it is a draw indeed. But that still increases both of their win rates, given that they are both below 50%. Momo band team now. And this one is doing okay against this Royal Burn team. Pushback potentially coming in against the movable unit Anastasia. And yeah, this is gonna be a clean sweep here after 16 losses in a row for Momo Band. That is kind of wild. So down to 1/3 win percentage is Royal Burn again. Up against this Kuako team, which also is currently at a 25% win rate, just as Royal Burn was at the beginning of its campaign, but it's looking like it's gonna give a boost here to Kuako and a setback for Royal Burn. Kuako also 4-0'd the double Anya team, and it does the same to Royal Burn. For the other pairings so far have been losses. Ultros now is a candidate for clear wins or clear losses so far. And so this one might go in the row of clear losses. Let's see, it's 0-2. Or rather 3-0 for Royal Burn, which does seem to counter that kind of setup with Misha quite well, unsurprisingly a little bit, but yeah, still pretty decent stuff. Now Cinema Roll, currently with that second team having the lowest win percentage. Let's see how this will go. Royal Burn definitely needs some wins here. Of course, it's only old units here on the left. And still, it gets one win. There's no real top units here on the left, besides maybe Anastasia and Valkyrie Reset. But even there are better options. And ultimately, this is a 3-1 victory for Royal Burn. This team on the left here also without a win so far, my third team from the Platoon Wars competition, going down here against the Royal Burn. 3-0 now. Royal Burn actually overtaking double Anya. For now at least, with a 44% win rate, so no longer last in the live rankings. Well, it's not last in the whole live rankings, but you know, of the ones that have finished so far. But yeah, against this Abdo team, it's gonna be more difficult. This one has a 62.5% win rate so far, and it definitely wants to add some more percentage points to that to stay in the discussion for the absolute top teams. And yeah, this is that. Abdo going up to 68% win rate, one of the highest in the rankings. Rookie also taking this. Rookie slightly below 50% win rate so far. This could be another clean sweep. Royal Burn either performs or does not. And in this case, it does not. And it falls below double Anya again. But yeah, this Natsume Linok team again should be rather vulnerable to the Royal Burn. So yeah, some wild swings we see here for Royal Burn. It's another 4-0. Now up to 42% win rate. And yeah, probably trying to attack Frostburn here. Who sits at 47% win rate. against this Linok team. Burnslop taking the first win. Oh no, we got an error here. So we will be right back. We are back, it's 1-0 right now for Royal Burn against Linok, and it's 2-0. 2-1. First time that this doesn't go clearly one way in quite a while, but it is ultimately a 3-1, which is good for Royal Burn. Now smack dab in the middle between Frostburn and Double Anya. Another 1-0 against one of the weakest teams in the competition here, but now it's 1-1. It's 2-1. And it's 2-2. The team here on the left, the modified true team with Balazard Miller so far at best taking draws. Ceteris Paribus on the other hand ended the win streak of Delay White, probably coming off a high here and actually taking this in a close fight, but so far 0-2, 0-3. This one was not as close. And one win at least still happening for Ceteris Paribus, who against Ceteris Paribus, who didn't have any 4-0 streaks yet. True Malignancy had some truly varying performances so far. It's 1-1 again. 2-1, so a rise for Royal Burn's win rate, and ultimately it is a draw. Wait, what? That was not True Malignancy's team. Probably need some ref call here. I will have to check on that later again. But yeah, this is now True Malignancy, and this team is doing quite well. 1-1 though. 2-1. 3-1, okay. I think we just had Ceteris Paribus twice here. Or potentially Double Anya when I skipped it in the row here. Well, here's what it is. With over 1000 battlers, a few mistakes could happen, I think. Daybuxy so far with a very, very good record. 104 loss though. This is not one of them though. Zero 2. And 0-4. It's already the fourth 4-0 in 7 pairings here for Daybuxy, who comes now with an 68% win rate. Meanwhile, Royal Burn has 43, so still keeping it between Frostburn and Double Anya here for the 6th position. But if it keeps stacking too many losses, then this might change. No, it's 1-1. It's good turnaround here to 1. 3-1, that's very important. Back up to 44%. Now the Linok team that just took a 0-4 loss after never losing before. And it takes another downer, 0-1, but never losing before of course meant draws, a lot of draws before. But this one doesn't look like it's gonna be a draw. Royal Burn actually taking this And it will bank that victory for sure. It's 4-0. Linux team here going down twice in a row now on quite the loss streak after a strong start. The Mamma Mia team on the other hand doesn't have too high expectations on it. And Royal Burn goes up to 49%. My goodness, overtaking Frostburn for now, but now it will have some strong opponents. Especially the last two teams, but this one by Nagi de Rizla that has been modified to add Balele Miller. Also not bad. 0-2. Royal Burn will struggle to keep up that win rate that is required here. And actually we'll have to see where it ultimately lands. It's down to 47% right now, so I think it will stay above Double Anya for sure, but I don't see it staying above Frostburn unless it makes some crazy things happening now against the CHSB team, which is in the complete live ranking, not just from the finishers, the strongest team so far, but it is adding a loss to that track record, just like Double Anya's team did, the best performing team against CHSB's team here on the left so far. Delay White added 1 victory as well. And this one actually added 2, so Royal Burn doing quite well here with a draw, just like Double Anya did. And as such, the chance is staying alive here, 0.1 percentage points below Frostburn right now, so it does need a draw against Abdo. And this is not looking good right now. Abdo is gonna deny that opportunity. Unless Royal Burn comes back now with 2 wins, but it doesn't look like it at all. This is a clear win here. And Royal Burn will have to be satisfied with the 6th rank. And some good performance against CHSB, I guess, standing out as a great result. 45%, or to be more exact, 45.4% now. Final win rate. And we move on to the full burn next. Which, to be fair, Royal Burn is not really that much burn after all. But this one now is, except for the Harmonic Anya edition. But it still gets defeated against the old meta. Starting off here is full burn with 32% win rate. Against the other 7 teams that came before it. Now we are at 1-1, 1-2. And 1-3 already going down. 31% win rate now. Against a pretty weak team here in the old meta. Momo Band also below 50%. We will have quite a few teams up until Abdo's team that are below 50% win rate here. And would be expected to lose generally. So 2-0. That is so far the case. And the last one. It is 4-0. That's good stuff for the full burn. 38.9%, still in the last position right now, but now attempting to overtake Double Anya against Kohaku here. But for that it will need some wins, and this is not looking like those are some wins. Kohaku already defeated the Royal Burn 4-0, and now it might add these other ones. Kohaku definitely the weak team killer so far. Basically Royal Burn went down, Full Burn went down, and Double Anya went down 0-4 against this team. Now we have Ultros, who also takes it. Whoop. What? We have Kohaku again? Okay, I think the engine is probably just struggling right now, because I didn't even delete anything and it switched to Ultros after some more Kohaku battles, so that's kind of crazy. So maybe I'm not crazy, but the engine is. But yeah, this is another 0-4 here for the full burn team. quite the loss streak here against teams that were not that strong to begin with so far in this competition. It's not looking very promising. 0-3. Quick reminder, that was where the Dark TPS team had the insane win streak with 0 losses. And here Full Burn is doing a loss streak instead. This is not good. It's going below 30% and is by far right now the weakest in the finisher rankings. Still some time to turn it around though against the other half of teams. But this is not promising start. Well, still enough to take down this bad team here from some random player. But to be fair, that team on the left didn't get any more than a draw so far. And this is a 4-0, that is very important. Back up to 35% win rate for Full Burn. And the old meta. Well, no, that's now Abdo's team, and it's actually performing well against Abdo's team. That's interesting. Abdo so far with a very good performance here, but this seems to be the kryptonite, the Full Burn counter. And this is actually a 4-0, very good stuff. Now actually getting close to double Anya's win rate again, only 0.5 percentage points behind. But taking another loss now. 0-2 already, and we have not started with the Balut teams yet. So I'm a bit concerned here for Full Burn, which takes at least one win here, so it doesn't lose too much win percentage. Check quickly if the queue is correct, but yeah, looks fine. But yeah, Natsume's Linok team doesn't look fine here. This is another win here for Full Burn. To be fair, that's a very earthy team here on the left. If Full Burn doesn't win that, I think Burn is over. So instead it's a 4-0 and now 42% win rate for Full Burn, overtaking double Anya for now. And continuing with the wins. Against Linok's Burn Slop team here, Full Burn beating Burn Slop. 2-1 now though. And 3-1. To be fair, Anya was on that team here for Full Burn. True Creo 81 actually taking a win here. But it is back to 1-1. Also this team on the left never won before. 2-1 now. And 3-1. Back up. Full Burn actually overtaking Royal Burn right now. Can it take the 6th place here? Or even more. It's not looking too bad here, especially I mean against somebody like Citrus Peribus. That is impressive. Okay, it's 1-1 now. It's 1-2 now. We do have the Balut modification there, of course. And it's 1-3, so Citrus Peribus, the third 3-1 in a row. True Malignancy. Didn't do too well in the recent matchups, and Full Burn is no exception here. 4-0 for Full Burn, and now it's looking better and better for Full Burn actually. Challenging Frostburn. But Debuxy is strong. She wants those wins, she needs those wins, and Full Burn gets one win of her already. That's something not so many teams at least could achieve, so that one win is still a win for sure. But falls below Frostburn again, is now above Royal Burn, Which would be kind of funny if that stays the case with Burn being around there. Speaking of Burn, Nelson checked also cooked up a Burn team here on the left. Of course, it was modified to include Ballet Miller by myself and Linok, so, you know, don't blame anyone for bad performances here. And by the way, bad performances here don't be much anyways, because this is not really about which team is the strongest or who built the very strongest team, given that Platoon Wars was much more of a different competition. But yeah, full burn is looking good. Taking another 3-1. What? Nelson checked. You're already done with, so here we go with Linok. Linok on a 0-8 loss streak. And it seems like it's continuing. 10 losses, I think, at least in a row already. Well, taking a win here, so that's nice. 3-1 for full burn, which overtakes the other burn teams again, but is still hovering below 50% win rate and still has a mountain to climb here. If it wants to climb it, it needs a 4-0, I think, in this one, because that's the easiest matchup remaining. Yeah, 2-1. And 2-2. That's now with 49% win rate going into the last 3 matchups. Not so optimistic. Full burn is getting a win here against Nagi Rislan, but it still needs more. And it gets more, okay, that's good. But, you know, I'm already thinking about the next ones. But 3 wins here is good, and this means now it's 50% win rate. But now, what can it do against 2 of the strongest teams here today? CHSB and full burn. CHSB and AleanFox next. Yeah, this goes down without a chance. I think this will be a 0-4 sweep again for CHSB. Which will boost its win rate up again. Currently the highest win rate in the live rankings. And full burn is down to 48.1%, still slightly ahead of frost burn by 1 percentage point, but AleanFox might have something against that. Let's see what is going to happen. I mean, AleanFox with Beauty and Beast, maybe not the best unit against burn here, so there is a chance, and it is taken. This chance is taken. Full burn takes a win. And it's 1-1. Not sure if a 1-3 is gonna be enough, but a 2-1 certainly is, and full burn actually manages to get ahead of Royal Burn and Frostburn both with this draw against AleanFox. It's ultimately a 48.1% win rate ahead of Frostburn's 47.2, and that means it's actually a 5th place, so congratulations. After 8 teams, a top 5 result is not too bad, especially considering where this full burn started out, and also considering where the next team might land. Old Meta is not looking too good right now at 21.9% win rate. This one still has a lot of battles ahead, but could this be the final team that finally undershoots Double Anya? If I was a betting man, I would say yes. And as I say this already goes down to another not so great battle, another not so great team, Momo Band, which currently sits at 28% win rate, but now they are 1-1, 1-2. And 1-3. Which helps them both, I guess, now with 22.2% for Old Meta and 33.3% for Momo Band, but yeah, both of these not doing too well, but Old Meta doing especially not well. Losing here against Kuhaku as well. Without much of a fight, honestly. And there we go, it's another 0 well, I mean, Kohaku is on a strong win streak right now against the recent teams. And Ultros is either going 0-4 or 4-0 mostly. And this one might be a 4-0. Is the old meta actually good against Ultros' cooked up team here? I mean, to be fair, this Ultros team is more of a meta breaker. Getting some surprising wins against weaker teams. It's not as consistent. And actually goes down here 1-3 for the first time in Ultros team history in this tournament. If we can call it a tournament. It's not really a tournament, it's just a way to find out what the tier list is going to be. Hopefully. Considering that this is taking so much longer than I expected, I'm not sure if we can make it. But yeah, speaking of that, let's skip ahead. And Cinema Roll is getting rolled here. Old Meta actually getting some kills here. And going above the 25% win rate, up to 31 now. And this is another good chance here against one of the weakest teams in the entire competition. Looking good. 3-0 already. Old Meta actually improving. 36%, but can this be enough to go above double Anya? I still doubt it, because we have many strong teams coming up next, and here we go. One of them is already on the field with Abdo. We are at 0-2 now. 0-3. And 0-4. And the zeros continue here for the old meta. This could be a bad loss streak here, although the next team didn't do too well against the recent burn teams. Then again, this is a very different team from a burn team. Yeah, Rookie easily takes this 4-0, and old meta is down to 32% win rate again. Natsuma losing quite some units, but Beauty stays standing, and Modern Almina is there in reinforcements as well. It's 1-1 though. So old meta finally gets its mojo back. Just for a bit though. It's 1-2. And 1-3. This is not looking good right now. 31% win rate, and the Balut teams are just about to start. All going down to burn slop. That's a lot of going down, and it goes down below 30%. Will this be the first team that ends its campaign under 30%? I think it will be. It even goes down against this Trucrio Balut team that has 0 wins so far in terms of pairings. But, well, this could be another draw, or the very first team for this team on the left of the very first 3-1. And it is the very first 3-1, wow. This is a big plus here for this team that was sitting below 20% win rate. Ceteris Paribus hasn't had a loss ever since the Dark DPS sweep 4-0, but it also never won 4-0. This could be the team to do it against. And it's not the team to do it against, still 1-1. But maybe old meta actually can do something here. 1-2, can it get a draw against Ceteris Paribus' team here? No. It's another 1 win. The fourth 1-3 in a row here for Ceteris Paribus. Or 3-1 from the view of Ceteris Paribus. Alright. We have 8 more teams to go for this old meta campaign, who is currently sitting at 29% win rate. Against True Malignancy, it's doing a 1-1 at least. 1-2. 1-3, another 1 win, and that means the win rate continues to dwindle downwards. No chance, I think, anymore to reach double Anya. I mean, mathematically there is a chance, but not realistically. And it still keeps stacking the losses here against these strong teams. They are very strong, to be fair. But yeah, this is another 0-4, and now Nelson Checked is up next. This has an insanely long streak right now. Nelson Checked's team 5 times in a row lost 1-3. But I think this might end now, unless Old Meta now jumps back and gets 3 wins in a row, which it does not. So Nelson Checked is back on track. And takes a 4-0, actually a first 4-0 for Nelson Checked's team here. Ava Carries actually gets taken out. Well, the Linok team struggles a little bit recently against these weaker teams. 1-1. Probably was built to counter the top meta, but we don't really have the top meta here on the right. As such, this is just a draw. Well, Linok was the draw magnet with this team. Getting back to the roots here. But now it's going to be interesting. This one is the chance now for the old meta to still keep stacking some wins. Currently a 27% win rate. It definitely needs each one of them. And this one might be the first big success here in a long time for the old meta. It's a 4-0. My goodness, we have to go all the way back to team number 14, so 10 times in a row that this did not happen. I mean, a win didn't even happen in between, so that is quite good. And it goes up to 30% again, so there is still a little bit of a chance. Oh, that was still the same team, but now it's gonna be difficult, that's for sure. Against these units, against these teams. Nugget Rizzler takes it twice, thrice, and quadruple. And this was the weakest of the 3 remaining teams, so that's gonna be difficult now against the top runner. CHSB, can it pull off an upset? It can. What? CHSB is in shambles here, taking a loss against this weakest team in terms of campaign runs so far, but well, it is bringing it back. CHSB still without a loss, and ultimately only going down 3-1 for the old meta. Now back at 28.8%, and now Abdo's team is the last one remaining, and it takes another win here, which is nice, but still probably, unless it keeps going like this, it's not going to be enough to go above 30%, and so it will clearly be last place. It's 1-2 now, and yeah, this is not going to be enough. Still surprising to at least take 1-1 wins, but yeah, ultimately it's 28.7% win rate, which is one of my favorite combinations because it is my birthday, but in this case, this is not a good number, I have to say, unfortunately, because 28.7% win rate means you lost a lot of fights. And yep, this is the current standing now after 9 teams. Delay White is leading in front of Dark Storm, Dark DPS, and Mega Strength. These 4 teams, the only one of the 9 teams so far that are above 50% win rate, so you know we still have more strong teams coming that will have their campaign runs, but the campaigns of course get shorter and shorter, given that the previous results against these previous 9 teams have already been recorded for all of them. In terms of the strongest teams currently in the waiting group, we have CHSB's China 1 team here in front with 83% win rate, ahead of Daybaxi's Canadian team 1, both of them modified with Ballet Ludmilla from Linok and me. And then we have two Abdo teams. Actually unmodified. With 66.7 and 63.9% win rate. So very impressive stuff. Let's see how they are going to do in the later campaigns. And we will be right back. And we are back. Here is your host True again with 1284 battles down. We are finally nearing the end, and I'm happy to report that because it's 3:15 a.m. and it's really time to wrap this up. But we only have 7 teams remaining that still need to get some of their battles in at least, and those are the very best teams that are still outstanding. As before, we still have Delay White and Dark Storm in front from the finalized teams with 76 and 75% win rate. But of course, there is some strong contenders coming up now. Chief of which is now Daybuxy, who is ahead of CHSB, although they have different teams that they have already played. Daybuxy still needs to play a little more. And yeah, that's the current standings in terms of which teams actually performed well. I mean, the very best performing team of those that you missed was actually Linok's Eva Carey's team. That is now currently ranked at number 10. Let's see if it stays there, because we still have first Kuhaku up, who is currently at 55% win rate and still needs to fight more than half of the teams. So let's see how that one goes. And then we can check in again how the rankings develop. Kuhaku with the 55% currently at number 12. Mega Strength is there at number 11 with 61.1%. So let's see how it's gonna go and which other teams can still do it. But of course, the top favorites are coming up last in Daybuxy fights and CHSB fights. Let's see how it develops though first. Kuhaku is gonna face off against Ultrus's team here first, and it is Platoon 1 versus Platoon 3, so definitely the favorite is Kuhaku here. And we see Aegis showing up here in the reinforcements, so she at least was summoned in this case, despite Beauty and Beast being in reinforcements. Interesting combination here from Kuhaku, who goes 4-0 in this fight. We continue, and Kuhaku, oh, well, not continue with this fight, but yeah, it's another win. We go now with Kuhaku versus Cinema Roll. Cinema Roll, fortunately on the lower end with that platoon. Then again, it is not the strongest platoon of Cinema Roll, who I think did quite well in the tournament. Or was it the Shadow League? But yeah, this is definitely a 4-0, so Kuhaku is definitely trying to attack here. Already number 10 spot right now with 62.5%, getting past the Mega Strength team. Oh my god, I again forgot to delete it from the queue. Apologies. So we move on now to the number 14 team, to Creo 83, but so far this Kuhaku team is absolutely steamrolling the competition here. And as such, still has good chances, especially with such a win streak that is now already taking it to rank number 9 currently in the live standings. 65.4% win rate. And I mean, in terms of actual finalized ones, this is the number 4 spot currently. And again, I forgot to delete, so again, it's kind of a 5-0, I guess. But yeah, this one is now a more difficult opponent, and it does go 0-1. This is one of the teams that we'll still see more of, because it has a higher win rate even. But here it's now 1-2. Can Kohaku still get the draw here? He can. So it's a draw. Keeps the 9th position, and the one he just fought is keeping the 8th position. Let's see. Oh my god, I forgot to skip again. We're not doing best of 5s, no worries, or play all 5s. Rookie is another one. That one is actually currently number 5 in the live rankings. And it seems like it's a tough competition. 71% win rate on this rookie, who is all but a rookie. It is a platoon versus 1 fight, but rookie definitely stacked it here with one of the best team constellations that are possible. So this is a rare loss here, well, rare 0-4 loss here for Kohaku. And as such, going down to 60% win rate and currently only a life rank of 12. Could get better now again. Against this Natsume Linok team. Looking now okay here for the Vietnamese player to still get a spot in the top 10. Of course, still not easy because the teams are gonna get harder, and now it has to actually compete against some very inconvenient Balut teams soon. But first, still another Linok Burnslop. This one isn't really an issue though for Kohaku here. It was 4-0 and is up again to 9th rank with 64.7% win rate. And again forgot. Oh, wow, this could have been a win, but of course it doesn't count either. And we have a technical defect. And we are back. And let's see if it can steamroll this team with a very low win rate. So a 4-0 is absolutely expected here from Kohaku. And it's not a 4-0, okay. Well, it's a 2-1, maybe a 3-1. It is a 3-1, which is good, still rising in the win rate. This one is a tough opponent, of course, Cetrius Peribus. Actually, one of the ones that is still outstanding. It's actually the one that we are going to see next, whose campaign we're going to see next. And it is a 1-1 here. And it is a 1-3 here. Yeah, Cetrius Peribus looking good. And now Kohaku is down to 10th position right now. Cetrius Peribus is in the 9th one. It's a direct fight here basically, but still 8 more pairings to go for Kohaku. True Malignancy also with a good team here. That was modified to have Ballet Ludmilla as well. And this is a 2-1 right now. Ultimately, True Malignancy currently with a 47.8% win rate, but that one increases slightly. This is a setback for Kohaku. Now Debuxy, this of course currently number 1 in the live rankings. Wouldn't expect a win here against this team, and it is a win. That is actually huge for Kohaku. It's 1-1 right now. And it's 2-2. That's crazy. Nobody managed. Well, actually, the Delay White team did that before against Debuxy, and well, there was Dark TPS, which went 4-0 against the Debuxy team, and Darkstorm with 3-1, but that's only 2 wins against the Debuxy team and 2 draws, and all the other ones was basically sweeps from Debuxy. So still pretty good from Kohaku, but of course it doesn't help the win rate right now. This could help it though. Now going up against Nelson checked. Going 2-0 already. 3-0. And 4-0. Nice. This helps. Still number 10 though. Now up against Linok carries, also doing good here. And another 4-0 now going up to the 9th position, overtaking Cetrius Peribus at the moment. With 4 more pairings to go. It is looking okay right now, but you have to keep in mind the strong ones are waiting in the end. Or some strong ones for sure. But this is another 4-0, and now Kohaku is up to the 8th position already, overtaking Abdo SY2 with 66.7% win rate. Basically 2 out of 3 battles went Kohaku's way up until this point. Now Nagi the Rizzler is still the underdog, but the next 2 will be the overdogs against Kohaku, so let's see how that goes there. So far so good, still on a win streak here. Losing some units and going down to 0 reinforcements, but back in business, and it is another 4-0, still number 8. And now it's on. CHSB is now, right now in the live rankings, X equal number 1 with Debuxy. So could do a lot here, but loses, and thus will go down again. Then again, Debuxy also took some wins off, well, Kohaku also took some wins off Debuxy, but right now this is looking very strong. It's a 2-0, it's a 3-0. I'm not even sure. No, nobody beat CHSB before, so this is at a first, and it's a 4-0 sweep. That is actually insane by Kohaku there. Well played, CHSB so far with 0 pairing losses, and this is the very first one it got, and this one hurts because it drops CHSB below 80% win rate. Now Abdo, on the other hand, this Abdo SY1 team, which is currently just overtaken by Kohaku, seems better suited though to take that position back. It will take it back, I think. We'll get that top 6 again. Unless... yeah, there he goes. Only 1 win here for Kohaku. That's not enough. Falling back down to number 8 at the moment, with a final result of 67.6% win rate. Still very, very impressive stuff, but in the end, that's the way the cookie crumbles, right? That's how they say it. Let's see how it continues and what the ultimate final position will be for Kohaku, but a very nice result, I would say. And let's see what it means as well for everything else in terms of the unit compositions. And now we will see the campaign of Cetrius Peribus, currently number 10 with 64.7% win rate. The start against True Malignancy here is rocky, to say the least, actually going down 0-3 here. And 0-4 it is, so this is probably not what Cetrius Peribus was hoping for. Is down to 61.1% win rate, but currently still number 10. And now up against Debuxy, who was only defeated twice so far, but it looks like Cetrius Peribus might have the solution here. It is 2-0. This could change a lot here, also, and also at the bottom, at the top, at the battle for the top. We have a 2-1 now. Can Debuxy come back? No, it's a 3-1, only the third loss for Debuxy. And as such, she goes down to 80.3% win rate, but it's still above CHSB for now. Nelson checked here, on the other hand. Seemingly an easier opponent. Ceteris Paribus struggles more here, but it's 1-1 now. And the 2-1, and this could be a clear win again here for Ceteris Paribus. It is not, it is yet another draw, and as such, still the number 10 position here for Ceteris Paribus at 61.3% win rate. It's gonna be a struggle. Linok now up against this team twice. And it is a 1-1 already, so Eva Carries takes a win off Ceteris Paribus' team here. It's 2-1 now. Needs some 3-1s to make something happen here, and it gets a 3-1. But still, it's just 62% win rate and still the number 10 spot in live rankings. Now this is a team that could give it a 4-0 that it needs. And it doesn't. It's 1-1. Also, the Mamma Mia modified team is taking some wins here. Actually, looking like it's gonna win. No, it's a draw, but still, that's impressive. So, still, Ceteris Paribus not moving out of the 61 to 62% win rate area. Now, facing Nagi the Rizzler, and then gonna face some very strong opponents. 1-1. This is not looking good for Ceteris Paribus. It looks like Kohaku is making the move past it successfully already. And this is it. Only one win against Nagi the Rizzler. That means Ceteris Paribus is currently dropping out of the top 10. This is getting even worse now, below 60% win rate. And Mega Strength currently into the top 10 position. The third team here. And now, of course, has to face CHSB, who is himself probably trying to get a 4-0 here to get back up to Debuxy. Well, that is not a success, but that is only one win for Ceteris Paribus, which is definitely not enough either. Currently at the number 1 spot, Debuxy 80.3 and CHSB just 1 percentage point behind at 79.3. Now the last fights for Ceteris Paribus, but I think everything is lost at this point. Number 11, I'm not sure if even a 4-0 can bring it back here to the top 10, but it's still gonna attempt it. Very formidable effort here by Ceteris Paribus, team from India, that has been modified by Linux algorithm, and it is a 4-0 ultimately, which brings it back to an even 60% win rate for Ceteris Paribus. Congrats anyways, number 11 in the live rankings, and honestly this could still be a top 10 rank in the end, depending on the others develop. They can also fall down, of course. So yeah, well played. Well played. And yeah, Abdo probably not liking that result too much. Is currently down a little bit. But yeah, the last Abdo team doesn't have a campaign, given it's the Platoon Wars winner, so it will just passively receive all the results. Currently it's number 8 at 66.3%. And instead we will see Abdo's number 2 team against Rookie first, and then continue its campaign for the rest. Currently starting out at the number 9 spot with 66.1% win rate, but of course a lot of strong teams waiting to challenge. Rookie is the first one, and Rookie is basically coming off a 12-0 win streak, and it's not stopping so far. It's a strong combination for sure. Thor and Anya and Kenshin. And then Dark Musashi on top. Oh, this was closer, but it's still 0-3 now. And well, one victory at least for Abdo here, so that's nice. Still losing some win rates here, 63.3%, still number 9 spot in the live rankings. And now getting some wins again that are absolutely necessary here. Well, 1-1. 2-1. And 3-1, very, very important stuff here. Going up to 64% win rate again. Now facing against the first Linok team here. Alright, the second Burnslop. It's Freya versus Freya. And it's 1-1 between them. Ooh, Burnslop actually going in the lead here. Can MCAbdo still get the draw here against Linok? This actually... Well, this is actually a fight I think we saw in the Platoon Wars 4. Linok's Platoon 2 versus MCAbdo's Platoon 2. I'm not quite sure how it ended. I feel like Linok won that, and he's actually winning that as well. Just one win for MCAbdo here. Apologies if there's some loud noise in the background. That's the tram, which is still going at 3:40 AM. Although, I mean, to be fair, I think that might be a construction vehicle. Or some maintenance, better said. Okay, losing against this True Creo 1 team here is a very bad thing. I mean, it is modified with Ballout, so it's worse than I think it is in the tournament. But still, you should get some wins here against this team. It is 1-1 now. It is 2-1 now. And it is 2-2 in the end, so that's not perfect. 61% win rate now for MCAbdo, who is just now at the same level basically as Mega Strength. So need some more wins. And now Cetrius Peribus still has some chances here to get the win rate up again. That's what I was talking about. This is basically a fight for the top 10 right now, a live fight, and Cetrius Peribus is looking to take this one. It's just one win, and MCAbdo drops from 9 to 11. 59% win rate only left for this second platoon here. Let's see if he can take it back. Doesn't look like it right now, and that's what I'm talking about. Cetrius Peribus currently passively back in the top 10, and MCAbdo's team really struggling now. Has been a while since it took any overall win in a fight. This is another 1-3. And now down to 57.5% win rate, and now having to face the Baxi, the currently only team with above 80% win rate. So technically I guess one win here would already be a win for MCAbdo, but it's not looking like it's gonna deliver. This is a 0, and this is good stuff for Debuxy, and now CHSP will have to follow here, and meanwhile MCAbdo drops to the 12th position now. Actually overtaken by Linok's Eva Carey's team that was modified with Balut. We have a 1-1. Could this be the first victory here for MCAbdo in a long time? No, but could it be at least a draw? That's the question now. It cannot be. And as such, we go down to 53% win rate. And now it's a direct fight here between Linok, Eva Carries, and MCAbdo SY2. It is rank 12 versus rank 11 in the live rankings. And it's looking good for rank 11. 0-2 already. 0-3. And 1-3. That's not enough. 52% now. And that is 6 percentage points behind rank 11 already. And with strong teams still coming up, this is not looking like the campaign that MCAbdo's Platoon 2 must have hoped for. It's 1-1. Even against this Mamma Mia team that has been modified, to be fair. It is a 3-1, finally another victory here for Abdo, but this is not in time. The only thing it can hope for now is defending that current number 12 position or that win percentage above 50%, because these opponents are all gonna be very, very strong. So it's not gonna be easy. One of them is his own platoon 1. And this one is already 0-3. 0-4, this is not good. Now already down to 51% and down to rank number 13. Now X equal with True Malignancy's team. And actually behind Nagi the Rizzler, who just overtook it with this live battle. Unbelievable. Now CHSB needs these wins from Abdo's team to stay up to date with Debaxi, who is currently at 81.3% win rate. Yes, looks like Abdo might be falling up below 50% with this team in the end. Rough one, 49% actually now. And yeah, CHSB now back up to above 80% win rate. And now it's Abdo versus Abdo in the end. One of them modified. No, actually both of them are just like in Platoon Wars. So let's see if Abdo's assessment is correct in terms of which team is stronger. I mean, to be fair, it's not about fighting each other. It's fighting about the general teams that are coming up. So right now it's 1-1. One, 2, and 1-3. So yeah, Abdo was right here. But yeah, Abdo's Platoon 2 dropping to rank 15 now. That was quite a fall from grace here. Campaign completely turned on its head. Much better luck in the first half when he was on the defending side. Now we are going to see Abdo technically would be next as well with his 28th team, but 28th team doesn't get any campaign. So it's still staying there at 66.7% as it is now. And instead we go to Rookie next, the Chinese team. That one actually starts from a 73.3% win rate. We only have 3 more teams left. And the number 1 in the finalized ranking is still Delay White, ahead of Dark Storm, 75.9 and 75% win rate. But in the live rankings, we have 2 teams that are above 80%. And 1 team that is also pretty close to these 2 teams, and that is now Rookie, the first one, who could actually get the finalized score higher than 75.9% if he has a good run against the 11 opponents, or the 12 opponents that are still waiting on him. Let's see how it's gonna go. We are live. And it is 1-0. That's a good start for Rookie. 73.3%. is the starting value. And 2-0. 3-0. Live rank is 5, but now I think it might already be higher. It's 75% win rate now. Live rank 4, X equal with Dark Storm. And it keeps winning. It keeps winning. Well, it's 1-1. 2-1. And, you know, at 75%, you don't really win anymore. With 3 wins like it just did, it's gonna keep the 75%, but not gonna attack further towards the number 1 spot. For that, it needs 4-0 wins. And this could be where it gets those. And we have another 4-0. And as such, going up to rank number 3, 76.4%. This could be a rank number 1 if this is the finalized score. But of course, it will try to attack the other teams of Debaxi and CHSB. Ceteris Paribus now under pressure. Currently it is a top 10 spot for Ceteris Paribus, but with 0-4. This could go ugly quickly. That is a big drop in win percentage for Ceteris Paribus, going down to 58.3. But still keeping the number 10 spot. Meanwhile, Rookie is now at 77.6% win rate. Looking good. But looking not so good now. This will be a loss already, and that is clear after just one match. Even a 3-1 will make it go down at this point. 2-1. Looks like Rookie might be able to secure that 3-1. It does. Going down to 77.5%. That is the best that he could still hope for. And now up against Debuxy. This is one of the most essential fights. Can he take Debuxy? And the answer is yes. This is looking good. This is bad news for Debuxy right now. Rookie might overtake her here. And not just Rookie. It might be CHSB time as well, although they will also need to fight off against each other later on. And now it's 2-1. If Debuxy takes a 2-2, that is okay. It is a 3-1 after all. And as such, Debuxy goes down to second place in the live rankings. Rookie goes down in win percentage to 77.4%, but that was actually a huge win. Now Debuxy is just 1.2 percentage points ahead. That is actually crazy. It could go quite close here, and Rookie, of course, still has some other fights that he needs to win, and then against Nelson checked, fails to do so twice already after some good run here. Now against an opponent that shouldn't be such a big issue, is now struggling a bit more. I mean, shouldn't be such a big issue is maybe the wrong word, but you know, this is an opponent that had not a track record like a Debuxy. But yeah, it is a draw in the end, 50-50 between those two. And now we will see two Linok teams facing off against Rookie. Rookie takes this first one, 1-0. Still life rank 3, but only 0.2 percentage points ahead of Delay White. And this could now shrink further. This shrinks too much now. This is a draw actually, and it's going down to 75%. This is now a life rank X equal with Darkstorm again. And this is with 4 teams still remaining. I mean, this one could be something where he delivers. But now it's getting harder and harder to imagine how he can take the number 1 spot. And has to actually struggle here to get or defend the top 4 spot. (2-0) now, 3-0 and 4-0. That's good. Coming back up again to number 3 with 76%. 0.1 percentage points right now ahead of Delay White. But now it's a loss here against Nagi the Rizzler. This is not even CHSB yet. It's 1-1. This could go down to 75.9 now, I assume. If it even takes the win, and if it doesn't, so it goes down again. It's 75% yet again here for Rookie. And now has to face off against the strongest opponent at the moment with over 80% win rate, and this one is holding strong. CHSB with the modification of swapping in Ballet Ludmilla. It's a 1-3 in the end. Rookie goes down to number 5, 73% win rate, and still has to face AleanFox. And CHSB is now at an even 80% win rate. Not looking good for Rookie now. It began quite promising. He came up quite high, but now losing the plot here in the final moments. It's a 1-2. At best, a draw here for the ending. This is not gonna be enough. It's even a 1-3, and ultimately it's a clear rank number 5. In the end, 3.7 percentage points behind Dark Storm. So yeah, in the actual finalized rankings, this is a rank number 3, but nobody finished above 75.9% yet. Let's see how it's gonna go. We have only 2 more players to go, and one campaign is gonna be very short. The CHSB campaign is gonna be CHSB versus ABdo. ABdo's Platoon 1, and that's it. Currently 80% win rate for CHSB and 67% for ABdo, both of them with high win rates. At least one of them will lose some win rate, and most likely both of them will. And CHSB actually gets defeated here. This is not good for CHSB. Might be falling behind Debaxi if it doesn't turn it around. And even if it does, it might. Well, a 3-1 should still be enough, but this is not going to be a 3-1. This is going to be a draw at best here for CHSB. It is a draw. 78.8%, now 0.2% ahead of Debaxi before she starts her final campaign. We have 6 more pairings ahead of us, and then we will know who is the final champion. But yeah, now CHSB is looking good, but Debaxi has everything still ahead of her. Oh wait. Did I play the ABdo versus Rookie the whole time? Okay, never mind, guys. We have CHSB here now, and this one takes it 1-0. That must be the 4 AM brain here. 2-0. So CHSB is actually looking very good here. 3-0. What a strong team. 4-0 here, the Ballet Ludmilla team. I mean, to be fair, it was modified by Linux algorithm in terms of how Ballet Ludmilla swapped in, but yeah, definitely a strong team. And it is currently 80.8% win rate. This is 2.2% ahead of Debaxi, who is now starting the final run. Let's see how it's gonna go. In the end, it might come down to the battle between Debaxi and CHSB in a direct fight. Debaxi taking this first one against Nelson checked, which is something that is needed. Any win is now needed, and these ones are certainly appreciated by Debaxi here, with 4-0 clean sweep, going up to 79.5% win rate. Now only 1.3 percentage points behind CHSB. And now up against Linok, Ifa carries, or rather 2 Linok teams. Again, taking the wins here in quite a convincing fashion so far. 3-0 now. It's looking very good here for Debaxi, who is doing another 4-0 and is now at 80.4%, just 0.4 percentage points behind CHSB. Can she close this out? She's now facing Linok, Mamma Mia, which doesn't have the best track record. Also not against Debaxi, who takes another 4-0-3 potentially. She does. And as such, she's now number 1 in the live standings, 81.3%. In win rate, half a percentage point ahead of CHSB. And now it's time to go against Nagi the Rizzler. Still some strong teams waiting. And as such, this is gonna be tight. A few units survive here. It is another 2-0. It's looking good here for Debaxi. 3-0 against Nagi the Rizzler, who has also a very strong team, number 12 currently in the live rankings. And it's another 4-0. My goodness, 82 percentage points now. 82% win rate. And yeah, now we go to ABdo first. Gonna go with the 28th team. Let's see what's the final score for ABdo here. Currently rank 8. Let's see how Debaxi is gonna do. It's gonna do well so far, at least. 2-0, still Debaxi steamrolling the competition here. 3-0, the Canadian player with a lot of experience from EA2. And this is a 4-0 here against Abdo, who still keeps the 8th position though. But now it's time. 82%, 82.7% for Debuxy, win rate currently. And CHSB has 80.8%. It's 1.9 percentage points between them. But of course, that just means a draw might be enough for Debuxy. But if CHSB takes 3 wins, I'm actually not sure who's gonna take it. It might just make it so that a 1-3 would mean that both of them win this competition. Let's see how it's going to go. In any case, up to CHSB needs at least 3 wins to get that number 1 spot back. Disabling bolts are coming in. Obviously, very interesting stuff here. We have Ballet Ludmilla on both sides. It's a modification. It is saying something, I think, that Ballet Ludmilla is in the top teams here, but we will have to wait for the actual data analysis to find out for sure what her impact is. She also had quite a few teams where she didn't quite perform. CHSB is certainly impressive that it is a team without any kind of Anya. Harmonic Anya is not there in that team. And meanwhile, Debuxy, okay, doesn't lose Washington here, interestingly. And also doesn't lose Ballet Ludmilla? What? That's wild. I don't know how she survived that. And Valkyrie Reset here being in one of the top teams, also interesting. Cerulean Blade, but not enough yet to take out Thor here. And the fortification will come back here from Anya, which is good for Debuxy, I suppose. Unstable Blade, still not enough, even though there's so many poisoned units. Getting lucky here with the RNG, taking out Harmonic Anya. CHSB might be poised to take another win here, which is an important first step in this final pairing to decide who is gonna be number 1. Valkyrie Reset now getting disabled against Stormania. Thor is disabled. The whole team is basically disabled on the left here, which is kind of wild. Thor now with the Thunder Shield on the right. And disabling again. Sundering Wrath taking out Kenjin here. No Hypnosis. Modern Almina now entering the field. And Harmonic Anya went down, but it is looking good for Debuxy anyways now. Missile Storm coming in. Get turns triggered, but the disabling is just too damn strong. Disabling bolts coming in, at least for CHSB. But Ballet Ludmilla is not disabled, and that means Valkyrie Reset will bite the dust. That means also everybody gets the turn on the team. A lot of them disabled, but still. Ballet Ludmilla on the left disabled is critical here. And she might be taken out by herself. No, takes out Modern Almina first. Get turns triggered. Disabling is still active. Another circuit overload. Unfortunately, Ballet Ludmilla still disabled. It's not looking good for CHSB. Debuxy might guarantee the win with this one. It's just 1 win she needs to take it. Or to guarantee her win. Question is just if she needs to share it then. Finally, Ballet Ludmilla on the left, no longer disabled. So now is the time to potentially turn it around, but the center stage, the fortifications are still active after all this time. Ballet Ludmilla getting disabled is important though. Thundering Wrath not enough to take out New Anya yet. Thunder Shield healing her back up. And disables coming in against Modern Almina and Zeus, not against Ballet Ludmilla though. That could be important. Elegant Thrust though, that's not what was needed. This might be over for CHSB in this fight. Ballet Ludmilla gets a turn, doesn't lead the dance. Quick strike against Ballet Ludmilla, that's it. New Anya might even, no, doesn't get a kill, but Ballet Ludmilla on the right will. And this is it. TheGatheringICP is gonna be the winner of this platoon competition. Now, to be fair, it's not a completely fair competition, and it's mostly about finding out which are the strongest units. But the question is now, can CHSP come back? It's 1-1. CHSP needs 2 more victories to also be number 1 here with the modified Ballet Ludmilla team. And it is 2-1. Okay, so we will check out the final battle, I assume, of today after so many hours have passed. TheGatheringICP is down 1-2. She just needs a draw here against CHSP to be the lone winner, but with another victory, CHSP can also get the guaranteed number 1 spot. Yeah, this is looking okay so far. Meanwhile, let's go through the rest of the top 10, which is already guaranteed now. So congrats to all of those teams. At number 10 we have Cetrius Peribus with a 58.3% win rate. Number 9 is the Mega Strength team, which is a Japanese arena team or arena platoon. Number 8 is Abdo's Platoon 1 from Platoon Wars 4. Meanwhile, we see TheGatheringICP struggling in this fight. CHSP is trying to get that number 1 spot, and it's looking very good right now because there's only supporters left. CHSP might just be taking that number 1 spot together with TheGatheringICP. At number 7 we have Kuhaku in the end. Very impressive stuff from the number 1 platoon here from the competition, and Kenjin just takes everything here for CHSP. Number 6 in the rankings is Dark DPS, also a meta team from Japan. Number 5 is Rookie, the not modified team from Platoon Wars 4, so also very strong stuff. Number 4 was Dark Storm, another meta team from Japan. Number 3 was Delay White, as well a strong meta team from Japan, but ultimately the 2 Balut teams modified for this fight are taking this. It's 1 versus 3, it's 1-3, and as such we have 2 number 1 teams in the end. So congratulations to TheGatheringICP, to Canada, and to CHSP, to China. It is 80.6% win rate for both after they have done how many battles? 27 times 4, 108 battles, yeah. So yeah, that's an interesting final. It's 4:04 AM, and this is perfect because I'm feeling like I'm slowly getting error 404s here in my brain. So yeah, this is it. Hope you enjoyed all that. A very, very long insight into what the meta is currently doing and how certain teams behave against each other, and also I think a good insight into how much RNG is having a place right now in the meta, because you could see it going back and forth a lot. But I mean, that's something that you probably know from arena as well, or from tower fights. The RNG is not to be underestimated, but yeah, it is certainly eye-opening. And I think how many times we didn't get 4 zeros here. But yeah, ultimately, congratulations to TheGatheringICP and CHSP. Actually, I just realized I never switched over to the results screen, so here you go. That is that results. Okay, this one might be better. Okay, and yeah, that's that. We have very, very impressive results here for all these teams, honestly. Of course, varying win rates, but in the end, it wasn't really about the win rates. This is just a little fun on the side for me, given that that was 1,512 battles to simulate. Oh my god. That's insane. Okay, well, I hope it's worth it. Let's see what the analysis yields and if it's gonna make the tier list much better. But yeah, I really need to think if I will ever do that again, honestly. That was kind of wild. But yeah, that is it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to become a true carrot. And as always, thanks for watching.